Hello, my darlings. Hello, hello, hello. How are you today? I hope you're all doing lovely for yourselves and your family. I hope everybody's happy today. Happy as Larry. I'm not sure how happy Larry is, but I hope you're as much happy as Larry. Now, what are we doing, kiddies? What are we doing? We're experimenting. Well, there's a few highlights, a few things. Hold on, I'm just noticed I gotta get a few things ready, man. We are discussing mostly the slap gods because this is just a thing that I've been watching and it's awesome. And I'm just woo, this microphone. This microphone arm has to be replaced. I believe it has had its day because it is misbehaving. It's just not able to hold up this. Let me see if I can tighten it one more. Okay, it just doesn't seem to be able to hold up this microphone anymore. This microphone is a damn heavy microphone. Okay, so yeah. So what are we doing? We are going to eventually talk about the slap gods. Now, if you guys are not aware of what is the slapping tournaments that have taken place in Russia, I will fill you in eventually. But for now, just a little quick channel update or update of recent events, shall we say? A quick channel update about our dearest Muslima from Speaker's Corner. Zabida Al-Arabiya, a.k.a. nonce apologist, a.k.a. boyfriend who threatens to rape people with his finger, a.k.a. THOTS, the greatest thought that has ever existed in amongst the greatest thoughts. Yeah, this lady, or this thought, really, lady is not really the word should be used when referring to this thought. This nonce-apologist thought that she could take my video down, so she made a privacy claim. Yeah, we're going to wait 48 hours and see if YouTube decides to take this video down. Just like the Wendy claim. Wendy also made some privacy claims against my channel as well. None of them went through because when you say shit on the internet, Zobida, you don't get a privacy claim anymore. You forgo your right to privacy when you live broadcast things. And not even you. You go on other people's streams and live broadcast yourself on other people's streams. You don't get to have privacy then. Those things that you're now trying to take down, those things you said about being a nonce apologist, which is what you are, child marriage apologist, yeah, you don't get to take those back anymore. You're going to have to live with those. The way you call me a nonce, you dirty slag, you're going to have to live with those as well. Just like the way you force me to constantly apologize for. Well, I don't apologize for it. I simply have to rectify and correct your slanderous remarks, you slag. So yes, nonce apologist with a rapey boyfriend. That's how it's gonna go down, and that's how you're gonna have to deal with it. Hello, everyone in the chat. Hello. So, yeah, Miss Zabida Al-Arabiya wants to try to take down my videos as part of privacy because, it's all private when she talks shit on the internet. Well, it's not going to go down as a privacy claim. We'll see. 24 hours. They said 48 hours, and they'll review it. We shall see, Mr. Al-Arabiya. And besides, even if they do take it down, I will upload that video onto BitChute and dozens of other YouTube accounts. In fact, I'll upload it to my other main account that has more YouTube viewers, subscribers. But nevertheless, you're not going to get away with this kind of shit anymore, Miss Thought Noncy, aka Thought Noncy. Thought Noncy is, I think, the next nickname for you. You dirty little slut. But as far as that's concerned, that is not even my biggest worry. The next thing I am actually interested in is, you do know that, those images of Walla Walla's mother. The images of Walla Walla's mother on her Facebook have now been known to me. I know where her pictures are. And this is what I will do as a gracious individual that I am, because I was originally going to do unspeakable things to those pictures. And I have those pictures, Nancy girl. I have them. Tell Walla Walla, the effeminate man, that I have images of her mum talking Arabic shit on fucking Facebook. But as gracious of an individual as I am, I'm going to give you this one chance. Stop calling me a nonce, and if Walla Walla ever utters a word about my mother, I will do unspeakable things to those images. Don't talk about my mum. Don't call me a nonce. Those are my terms. I feel under the circumstances they are incredibly generous terms. You can call me a cunt. You can call me a fat, slobby bastard all day long. Don't talk about my mum. Don't call me a nonce. If not, if you cannot abide by these simple rules, I will do unspeakable things to your mother's images, Walla Walla. I will post the unspeakable things that I will do on Pornhub, because that will be the only place that they would allow those images to be left. I will open a personal Pornhub account and I will tell everyone where to go to see the things that I will do to the images of your mum. Not only that, I will Photoshop her head on unspeakable things in unspeakable positions. I'm just going to tell you, Walla Walla, I have her Facebook account. I have her images. You can't even go ahead and block them. It's too late. I already got the images. So those are my terms. Don't call me a pedophile. Don't talk about my mum. Do these things and I shall never speak of such things again. Do not and watch your mother's photos defamed in ways in which Beelzebub himself will be ashamed. I promise you this. This is not a threat. This is not a challenge. It's a promise. I will do unspeakable things to those photos that will put a shame on the most wild ass-to-mouth porn star on the planet. Don't call me a pedophile and don't talk about my mother. And we shall never speak of this again. You have my terms. It's on you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, back to the show. Back to what we originally wished to discuss, what we wish to talk about, what I wish to talk about. And what I wish to talk about is a little thing known as the Tournament of the Gods, as I see it. I see these as the Tournament of the Gods. These are known as face-slapping tournaments. These are amazing things of men, things that Spartans would revere to be like. The Spartans all look upon these faces and weep as they are magnificent. I feel that the Spartans themselves have inspired such sporting events. They are unbelievably wonderful, and so I like to introduce you. If you don't know, I mean, I've already spoken about these once before, but I would like to introduce you to some of these again. Now I don't know what's going on. I mean, this is a different tournament to the ones that I've seen, but these are the slapping tournaments. These are just men who are manly men with manly faces stand upon the altar of gods and have their faces exposed to unspeakable force. and this is a different tournament, but I would like to highlight amongst these men, amongst these mere mortals, stands one man, and one man alone, one individual who rises the Leonidas of gods amongst them. He is the Zeus of slapping. He is the destroyer of destruction. He is Vasily Kamotsky. Sorry, Vasily Kamotsky. Now, this individual, Vasily Kamotsky, aka Vasily Palman, aka the Dumpling. Vasily is truly a god amongst men. He is the alpha god amongst gods. I would put it.
Hours ago, not
this guy, not this guy. Although I have been watching this guy. This is the gentleman, Vasily Kamotsky. He is magnificent on so many levels. He is, as all heroes, arose as a simple farmer. He lives his life tending his pigs and his sheep and his bees on his farm. A simple man who rose, as all men do, through unwitting circumstances to the level of gods. And this is a highlight of some of Vasily's just absolute destruction. Look at that. That man's soul at that moment left his body and was elevated back to the God's bosom. At this moment, it is one of those moments where this is the man. Look at this. It is at this point, this man knew he fucked up. Look at those eyes. His soul momentarily left, said hello to God, and returned into his body as this man goes down. Whoa! This guy, this one was so vicious. I feel that he forgot part of his childhood. He now no longer remembers his mother or his siblings. Once this hand made contact with that face. Oof! And by the way, I have slowed this down. This man is no longer capable of remembering his childhood memories or his upbringing. He is now going to have to be reintroduced to his family. Oh, shit. Yes, this is Vasily Kamotsky. Okay. That one, although it was powerful, I would say possibly a foul hit. That was really way over the top. I mean, that was really palm against ear at this point. Look at that. Look, that was unfortunately a missed hit. I don't think that was his best performance, but nevertheless, the man will never get up. Oh, he missed. He kind of missed that one, but he took it. This gentleman took it well. This one not so much. But then again, I don't even know why this individual is even there. At this point, Vasily's reputation has exceeded so much that men just simply shudder. Men cannot bring themselves to even take this hit. This one, I think, oh my God. This man's entire race felt that hit. I think we should rewind this and see this in slow motion. This man's ancestors felt that hit at this point. I believe his great grandfather in the Roman legion felt a slap upon his face once he got when this man got struck. Whoa! Fuck me. That's the sort of shit you don't forget. That's a sort of hit that you will not forget. If your father ever gave you that for being a naughty man, you will never do that thing ever again. Whatever that thing is, you will never do it because you just don't want this one again. Okay, there's some commentary by the looks of it. Where is it? Oh yeah, no, this is just now commentary. So this is what we're talking about. This is the magnificent sport of Russian slap tournament, and tonight's event evening is going to mostly revolve around this. Yes, Yes, this is. And by the way, these are all slowed down. I've slowed all these down. Now I can go through at regular speed. Actually, let's watch these at regular pace in order to demonstrate the force and speed that comes with this. I think you kind of miss it. Let's play these at regular pace. Okay, this is still actually slow motion. This is actually slowed down. I was slowing down a slow mo. That wasn't. That was, yeah. This one was a little bit off. Yeah, that was lucky. That was lucky. You see that one. That one is in slow motion. That's full speed. That's just how it is. And that one is regular speed. And this man took it. I got to give it to him. He took that. He took that shot. Okay, that's just not. This guy just pussied out. Because at this point, he knew. You don't want that. This one is not in slow motion. Full speed. And that boy took that shit. He took it like it was his dad. I mean, that evening, Vasily became his father and, in fact, adopted him into his house, into the bosom of his house, because he slapped him. He slapped him into adoption. He had to take him. He owned him at that point. He was no longer his own individual person with autonomy. He was now destined to be with Vasily forever. That's a kind of slap that makes you someone's bitch. That's how I see that. 3 tits, Vida. I think it knocked the bleach out of his hair. I feel that's what happened. He actually knocked the bleach out of his hair. This man became a brunette after that slap. I don't know. Do you notice there's more brunette in his hair now? He knocked the bleach out of his hair. That's how hard that fucking. Holy shit. So yes, Vitaly, man, I keep forgetting his surname. Vasily Kamotsky is truly a god amongst men until recently, where things actually have happened. Things have happened where apparently,
ladies and gentlemen,
this is actually a little clip I can actually...
Mere hours ago, something so incredibly large happened on a global scale that it makes climate change seem trivial in comparison. If aliens invaded Earth right now, it would only be the second most...
By the way, this gentleman is incredibly funny. He has 5 million subscribers. It's not like I need to promote his videos. He is a very funny guy, but this is also brilliant. I'm also stopping it for fair use policy.
Surprising thing that happened today behind this announcement I'm about to share with you. Vasily Kamatsky, aka the God Hand, the man with a fucking railgun for a hand, the man who could slap the steel penis off of Optimus Prime, has been defeated in a slap.
Did you? The man who could slap the steel penis of Optimus Prime. He's very good. That's why he has 5 million subs.
Slapping contest. This is not a joke, this is not a drill. I feel like I'm giving the speech when the nuclear bomb was invented with fucking tears in my eyes. Now I am become deaf. Now I am become stunned that Vasily Kamatsky was fucking defeated. I honestly can't believe it. Today I was inundated with clips that people were sending me of Vasily getting knocked the fuck out in the slapping octagon. Okay, I'm exaggerating.
Let me
he suffered huge damage. Let me share with you the clip.
That's the first clip. Oh my god. Oh my god, the god himself was rocked. He didn't get knocked down, he didn't fall down, but he did. I think he was out on his foot. He was out on his foot.
The whole slapping.
What a man. I mean, that was a hell of a hit. Let me rewind this a little bit. Vasily gave a good blow, and the man took it. The man took it like a man. Let me just get it. Just
share with you the clip.
Hey, he took that first hit, but boom! I felt that here. I swear, my keyboard and mouse rattled when that fucking hit came in. That was serious.
The whole slapping tournament isn't publicly released yet. It's probably still being reviewed by the fucking United Nations.
And this guy, I don't know his name, Penjunas. I don't know what his name is. Anyway, he reviewed this tournament, so that was quite good. I just shot a fucking. This is also another one. I'm gonna let you guys play the. I'm just gonna play this a little bit as they get on it, because actually this is in super slow. There we go. You guys can watch that as I post the link for the chat. This is the link for this evening's StreamYards for those who wish to watch. Oof! Oh yeah. That was a good one. Now, by the way, this guy who's doing the slapping, the taller guy, they show his hand earlier on at the beginning of the tournament. Let me see if I can find it, where they show his actual palm. This man's hand is the size of a I would say a toddler. I would say like a 5-year-old, 6-year-old's head. That's how big his hand is. He could pick up and crush a basketball with one hand. It's like a bowling ball hitting your face. This guy is not. We're not messing around here. Let me see if they zoom in on his hand. Look at that. Look at that fucking thing. Look at the size of look at this. Look at this shit. They do a size comparison. Look at the size of this. It's like he has like snooker cues. Snooker cues for a finger. This man's finger. Now, you want finger bingy? This is finger bingy. If you ever get this finger bingied, you'll know about it. I'm not sure about Waleed's effeminate little fucking indexes, but this dude's finger bingy you're gonna know about that in the morning. There is no ambiguity about what happened to you the night before. And now it makes you think, if that man's hand and finger is that big and thick, what else is really thick and big? I mean, this guy could possibly assault a horse. Female horse, that is. And the female horse would think a much larger horse came at him. At her. Take care, American First. Have a good one. But yeah. Yeah, this is no messing around here. I mean, that's why I just want to make sure. Look at that. That's a fucking shovel. Okay, sailors use that to row Viking boats. No, Banksy? It makes you think. Rectum examinations. Sick man. Take care, America First. Have a good one. Yeah, but come on. Are we not, seriously? Look at the size of that. That looks like an adult and a child's hand. That's what it looks like. It doesn't look like there are two grown men comparing hand sizes. This is the BFG right fucking here. So yeah, these guys are no fucking child's play. We're not fucking around anymore, okay? There's some serious ass shit that's going on. This whole slapping tournament has gone on to a whole other level. By the way, I've posted the link. Anyone wishing to discuss? Afghan, are you here? Could you make yourself known to me? Because I also need to chat with you on a sort of more of a private level, really. If it's possible, could you please either come on the panel or send me some sort of Discord or Twitter handle or some kind of communication, dude. I need get on my Discord server. My Discord server is in the comment in the underpants section of this video and every video that I have. Could you get on my Discord server and communicate, or any other services? For fuck's sake, talk to me, Afghan. Is he even here? I think he's left. No, he's still here. I see you, Afghan. Come, talk to me. Okay, for those of you who wish to join the panel or wish to discuss, I'm another Afghan. Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't need that Afghan. I need the other Afghan. I need the main Afghan. The real Afghan. This Afghan is no good to me. So let us forward some of this. Now these are, by the way, I'm playing all these at like slow motion speed. Hold on. Let's play this first hit at a normal pace and see how that goes. Oof. Oh, it was good, but I feel that he bent his hand too far. He should have kept it more rigid, maybe, to get a more impactful. I think a lot of the power was lost in the flip back. Oh, that one. He felt that one. He felt that one. That rocked him. That one rocked him. Look at this. He's making sure he can twist. Got the full body there. Full twist. Oh, that rocked him. Look, you can see it. You can see. Did you guys see a little dust? That wasn't dust. That was his soul, temporarily separating from his body. It was his incorporeal body separating from his corporeal self at a moment and returning quickly. That's not dust you're seeing. Oh my God. And I'm an atheist. I'm an atheist, and this competition is making me a believer. That's what it's doing. That's what it's doing. It's showing me that a soul exists. This guy's really going for it, but he's just not putting in enough. And I think this guy, this other guy, this bigger guy, he's kind of turning his face a little bit, though. I do see him turn slightly, and that's, I think, getting, it's letting the blow. Oof. Oh, he took that. He took that like a man. Usha. Fucking hell. Look at the size of this palm coming at him. Hold on. This was the slow-mo. Okay, now I'm slowing it down to sort of show you. Just want to see if I can stop it. Look at this guy's arm. Look at this shit. Okay, here he comes. He's gonna come. This guy's squatting now. He looks like he's about to take a shit. This guy looks like he could shit like the size of a tyrannosaur shit. You can see that this guy could lay a very large log. It would be one of those like timber in the Canadian fucking red trees or some shit. But he's not taking a shit. He's just preparing. Now, I just want to see if I can pause this as the hand approaches the face. Look at the size of that hand in comparison to his face. Effectively, at this point, that is assault by a weapon. Okay, that's a shovel. That is not a hand anymore. That is not a hand anymore. That is a shovel. You are assaulting this man with a foreign object, as far as I'm concerned. Look at the fucking size. Ooh. But he took it, man. He took it like a champ. Look at the fucking size of that monster coming directly at his head. Oh, this is truly one of the greatest sports of our time. I am so grateful for everything, for the universe, for the gods, for Zeus that has introduced me, that has brought this event for us, because I think our lives are a little bit brighter. There's hope in the world again. Hello, Mr. Ned. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I'm wondering whether this would be allowed in the West. I wonder if that looks like a prison.
There is one available in America. Of course, it would be in America. These are the only two greatest nations on earth, Russia and America, where these such wonderful things are allowed.
I'm genuinely surprised that it's allowed in America. I would have thought that there'd be all sorts of legal issues about breaking jaws, safety. No,
I don't think America really. I mean, there's always, you see, the thing with America is everybody thinks America is really one homogenous thing. They really are not. It's all state by state. So a state could allow it, and another state, New York, these pussy states, the blue states, they're gonna fucking ban it. Of course, they're like New York and LA, but they're the pussy states. So who gives a shit about them? Texas is gonna fucking let it happen. Mississippi, fucking Nebraska and all that shit, New Mexico.
Yeah, so we're saying pussy states. I could not do this at all. I am a pussy. If you want, I'll get a certificate, a note from my mother. I am not doing this. I am a fucking.
There's a line in the film Weird Science, and he goes, what are you, chicken? He goes, look, if I could squeeze an egg out of my ass right now, I would, okay?
Look, oh!
What's up, Treasure? You see, Treasure comes from the land of the free and home of the brave. What's happening down there, dude? Are you enjoying the fires and the looting?
Not at all. I really am sick of this shit.
So which state do you live in, Treasure? Is it great?
I'll just say Midwest, but I mean, I'm not.
Is it in the great state of Texas where they allow slap competitions and other...
No, I can say that. No, it's not.
Is it one of those limp-wristed pussy states then?
Yeah, I'd say so. But it sucks. Like the city that I go to work at, they're having protests up there, and kind of worries me. I'm worried about getting stopped by a bunch of shithead protesters, and
that's what the Second Amendment's there for, my friend.
Yeah,
the great equalizer.
It's a little hard. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass getting a carry license. Not to mention you can't carry most places, so that's one issue.
Oh, in your state?
Yeah.
That's why you got to move to Texas, dude. Go down to Alabama.
No, most states are good. It's not just Texas. Yeah, those states. Yeah.
Go down to Florida. It's stand your ground, my man. Stand your fucking ground and pop a cap. No, look.
I saw one where a van drove over a protester. Would he be covered for that? I mean, he would probably say, "I felt in danger. I felt that they were gonna sort of kill me."
Yeah, because
he literally drove over a group of protesters. To tell you the truth,
I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all, because there was a scene. I don't know if you guys remember back in the 80s where the LA riots.
The Rodney King riots, yeah.
There was a truck driver who stopped. It's a famous case now. He stopped. They dragged him out and beat him within an inch of his life. So, hell no. If I'm a truck
would he be
driver,
covered by law?
I'm not going to put my life
by
in
law.
hands.
Oh, by law, I don't know.
Running them over, I don't know. It's a tough thing. I mean, I wouldn't want to place the bet. I mean, the only case I would do that is if I feel like it's my life or theirs.
Well, I think in a lot of these cases it would be.
That's exactly. I mean, you were talking about the truck driver in the LA riots in 1990, I think. The thing that's happened again on a freeway. It's on the internet. A guy with a massive, great big petrol tanker, and he gets stopped, and they just pull him out and kick the shit out of him.
You know what pisses me off is so because it's against police brutality, any actions taken during the protests, all the actions of those people, it's all excusable. Setting buildings ablaze, looting, all that bullshit, Antifa assaulting people for like really little to no fucking reason. Like, okay, did you know a child, like Antifa or Black Lives Matter, I don't know which, they set a building ablaze and a child and his family was trapped in that building, and firefighters are trying to get to him, and Antifa is blocking them. Luckily, they got to the kid. I mean, I guess he saved and everything, but still, like, we're gonna have more incidents like this. But I don't know. They're burning down important buildings in D.C.
They burned down church in D.C., didn't they? They actually
St. John's or something. I mean,
yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, the thing is, how is it that these things are not being highlighted by the white mainstream media? That this is what's going on. That
Fox
people
News
are
will
dying
talk
in
about
buildings
it,
and Antifa are blocking it. I mean, apparently Trump's going to classify them now as a terrorist organization, so they'll be banned.
We'll see what he does. He's just been talking the whole time. He hasn't really done anything.
What does that mean, though? What exactly does that mean? What power? What impact will that have?
I would imagine anyone who is going to protest under that moniker will be banned, first of all. So just like al-Muhajirun in Britain, you know what I mean? All these Islamic terrorist organizations that have been banned. So anyone who's trying to run any Facebook groups, any kind of community groups, any kind of groups under that name will be outright banned. Then I would imagine the police would have some kind of ability to then arrest anyone who's wearing a face covering or black gear that represents Antifa. So then they're gonna start be able to disrupt their flow. Do you know what I mean? And their tactics. I would imagine it would give some powers to the police to be able to then disrupt Antifa's tactical sort of ability. And the way they do the black bloc, you know what I mean, and the face coverings and all of these things.
What about people outside of America? Like, I understand that Ash Sarkar used to be a member of Antifa. I mean, would she be allowed into America now?
I don't know, because I mean, there's a massive Antifa sort of. Antifa is really German. That's where it hails
Black
from.
bloc.
Yeah, the black bloc, all of those tactics, all of the clothing style, everything is actually out of Germany. The German police are officially shit scared of the Antifas when they come out. And I've seen videos of the German police just back off the minute they start rolling out. So in Germany, it's a different story to America. America, the Antifa types are usually just little bitch-ass pussies from universities with their fucking university professors. And they get a couple of punches in the face. I mean, when the Patriots or what was it called? Proud Boys, and these as soon as they started, throwing a few punches back, the Antifa lot just crumbled, just folded in. I mean, there was that guy based Stickman, and this other sort of Samoan guy. I forgot his name. Big Baby, I think they called him, or something. Anyway, some big blokes. As soon as they started to fight back, Antifa started falling apart because they were only brave until the other side started punching back. And then they suddenly, we're not actually that brave anymore. They were throwing bike locks on people's heads when people were trying to be peacemakers. The guy who got hit with that bike lock by that cowardly son of a bitch, Professor.
Clanton?
Sorry?
Clanton, I think his name was Clanton, the guy who
got hit.
Professor of ethics.
Oh yeah, the guy who hit him with the bike lock. Yeah.
Professor of ethics.
Yeah, the guy who hit him with the bike lock. I'm talking about the guy who got hit by the bike lock. He actually was the one. If you look at the protests and the situation, he went in the middle and started saying, "Guys, like, calm down. It was getting too rowdy," and then he's the one who gets hit by the fucking bike lock. The one who actually was trying to be a peacemaker. So there you go. There's a message to the world. You be a peacemaker.
That idiot Clanton was literally. There's film of him actually trying to do that about 5 times on that day. He was actually going right round again and again and again. He sort of got lucky with that guy.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. That's why. I mean, and then there was that what they call moldy locks. That sort of girl.
Oh yeah, she got fucking slammed. Did you see that photo? I love that.
Face. And by the way, she was carrying a wine bottle around all day. This all came out like later on. She was carrying a wine bottle around all day to use.
Fucking acid, and I wonder.
Waiting on. No. It was just like an empty wine bottle. But they wanted. It was like makeshift. Effectively, it's just like prison shank. It was. She was looking to use it, and I think she tried to hit that guy that finally punched her with that wine bottle. he missed, and then when she came back for another one, boom, he fucking put one in her face.
Where is that guy? We need him right now.
I swear, man. I mean, where are the sort of... Well, the thing is, I don't blame the right-wing protesters not going out challenging these rioters, because they would end up in a scuffle. It would look messy, and it would make both sides look bad. They should just... I mean, the right wing at this point should just sit back and say, let's see these cunts get fucking banned. That's it. That's all you have to do, is just sit and wait for the officials to push heavily towards banning Antifa groups, banning Antifa organizations, or anyone that supports them, and just drive them properly heavy on the ground.
I think we're on the brink of civil war right now.
Go on.
Or who?
Sorry, Treasure, you were saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I feel like we're on the brink of civil war right now. I feel like all it'll take is one little, because the thing is, people are already really fucking on edge. It's never been this bad as far as I know. I mean, like the fact that's everywhere throughout the United States, all these cities, all these riots, all this shit. I feel like it'll take one Boston Massacre type incident where they fucking, I mean, even if they're completely in the wrong, they won't see it like that, as we've seen with a lot of these, so-called police brutality incidents. And yes, this case, the cop was completely in the wrong, but it'll take one bad incident where they open fire on a crowd of them, and several people die. I guarantee you it'll cause like some huge fucking backlash, like civil war. And honestly, I don't know.
War, that's pretty. I
could see it happening if think
Tim
of it.
Pool takes civil war as well, doesn't he? Tim Pool says that as well.
What about Boston Massacre? Do you not think, like, if there was a Boston Massacre type incident, that wouldn't escalate things pretty fucking badly?
I think
honestly,
people have got too much to lose. I mean, do you really think people would sacrifice their lives, their livelihoods, their family, everything they own, their way of life, absolutely everything?
People are radical, man. People have gotten really fucking radical. I think this racial tension has gotten to an all-time high. I think black people at least know where they stand. I think white people need to wake the fuck up and realize, hey, these people aren't on our fucking side. I think shilling for them has been a fucking pointless cause, like Trump. Oh, look at our black unemployment numbers. But you look at how black people vote in America, it's like 90% Democrat. It's a completely lost fucking cause. It's so stupid.
Sorry, guys. We have a gentleman who is wearing the monicum of Raj.
Yeah, it's me.
That is Raj.
Yeah, of course it's me. Who do you think it is?
Well, dude, I've literally been porn bombed with someone that had your icon and everything.
Oh, and today?
No. This was ages ago.
Oh, in the past, yeah. You got to be careful.
So that's what I
know
mean.
that.
I've been porn bombed before. I've been hurt before, Raj. Don't hurt me.
Oh, sorry for someone hurting you in my image.
Yes,
in my image,
yes.
I apologize.
I
apologize for that.
Thou created thy Raj in thy image.
Yeah. What a disgrace! That's like blasphemy on steroids, man. Now, what's happening? What's the topic about?
Well, originally we started off with the slapping contests that are current, that take place in America and in Russia, and one in America and some in America now, which I find to be the greatest sport on the planet. So I started the show with that, and also I addressed our dearest friend, the THOTS.
Oh no, I'm not getting involved in that.
There was a little address to that, but right now we're talking about the riots. We're talking about the
riots. Yeah.
I understand the black people have been sort of playing it down, though, haven't they? A lot of black people have actually been stopping Antifa, haven't they?
Can I give my opinion?
Sure. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, the cop, I've been to LA twice. I know. I got flown out for free. I know. What can I say? But, yeah, the police in America are not police, in my opinion. They're more of an army, or a kind of like an army. They don't act like policemen.
Paramilitary.
And the thing is, look, I understand there's guns and everything in America, but there is a way to conduct yourself as an officer. And I remember my first experience, because I haven't been abroad for a long time. When I went into LA airport, I got lost from the person I was with, and I just went up to a police officer and said, "Where's the exit?" And he looked at me like he was gonna freaking shoot me in the head, like, "How dare you ask me where the exit is here?" And he was standing in a position where most officers, like in the UK, as bad as you might think they are, if you asked them the same question, they would have at least said, okay, just pointed or something like that. So I realized straight away then that the officers, like, you don't mess with those guys. When they're walking about, they don't act, they're not really to me, they're not policemen in the general sense. They're more, what do I call them? They're more like a police state. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping order.
I don't know. I mean, this is the weird thing. You see, the first time I went to the United States, to LA, and we stopped off, we had to swap over in Detroit to exchange planes from London to Detroit and then Detroit to LA. And in Detroit, we were getting our visas to go into the United States because it was an internal flight. And I fully accepted, Iranian man, in my, I think it was in my 30s at the time, 100% accepted that I will be cavity searched. So I was preparing my anus, lubing it up as I was walking towards.
That was the reason you went, wasn't it, Banksy?
To some extent.
That's why you went, wasn't it? I bet you were bloody disappointed.
But this is what I mean. We got to the thing, and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna get properly rogered here, and admittedly, I wasn't on my own. I was with other people, and we had a chat with the guy. And the guy was amazingly nice, amazingly polite, really welcomed us. Oh, you guys are from London, England. Oh, we love it. He actually said, this was during the times of George W. Bush's presidency. He said, we are sorry for our president.
Yeah, but
I'm not
Banksy,
joking.
Banksy, sorry, I don't want to break this to you, yeah, but you look white.
But dude,
I didn't
I'm
know you
from
was Iranian.
Iran. It
No, I know,
says
but you
in my
don't look-
passport,
hold
place
on,
of
first of all,
birth.
no, I'm saying that when you look at you, when I first met you, I thought you was like maybe an Italian or maybe a Southern European. So if most people seeing you are not going to automatically think Iranian. They're going to think, maybe Southern European.
No,
so
dude,
automatically you're going to get like the kind of like white privilege, if there's any such thing.
no,
but,
So
get
don't
it.
keep us in suspense. Did they lube up the rubber glove?
Treasure, do you want to share your screen with us? Are you cool with that?
Yeah, that's cool, dude. I'm just playing.
What's that little
Mario
Jewish
Brothers.
cat? What's the Jewish cat doing?
Oh, I see. You're just playing. You don't actually want to.
Hmm?
It's not like something you want to share with us necessarily.
No, I put on to share. I put up screen share. Go and share it.
Oh, you want to share it? The problem
Yeah,
is if I
go for it,
share
bro.
this, I might get striked for.
Yeah,
Mario.
who gives a shit about that little?
You think
funny
so?
little-
Okay,
Oh,
Yeah, that's the
get rid
problem.
of that
It's
little
scary. At the
funny
moment, no
little
one in the
prick.
stream can see it because I want to confirm Takia Watch is actually Takia Watch.
There you go.
Takia Watch.
I'll
Say-
find something
Can
else.
you say hello? Hello, Takia Watch.
I mean, you could stream games. I don't see. I mean, it's an
Hey.
old NES game. I mean, I don't see people getting striked. I mean,
Yeah, I know, but
it's your call.
I've got a lot
Sorry,
of
that's
people
not
on
a
my ass at the
game.
moment.
That's for little pricks. Those little
Yeah, but it's
Mario
not that.
games.
It's just I've already
For
got
soy
I've already
boys.
been I've already been sent an email by YouTube telling me that there's a privacy claim on my Zobida video, which she's not going to get anywhere with. Hey, Simon, are you there? Can you?
Hi, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes,
It's fine if-
yes, that's Simon.
I'll
yeah,
put on Castlevania though.
yeah, that is good though. Don't get me wrong, I'm into all that shit, but at
It's
the
all good,
moment,
brother.
I've got too many people on my ass.
I don't blame you.
Gunning for my fucking streams. I just don't want to take the stream offline for no reason.
No, it's all good. Everybody else in the call can see it though.
So sorry, Raj. You were saying no. The thing is, I'm not saying about me being white. I know I
Yeah.
look white, but in my passport it clearly says who I am. Where
All
I'm
right,
from.
all right.
My name is unmistakably Muslim.
Yeah.
So there is. Those are the reasons I thought. Okay, they're gonna look at me. They go, okay, white dude. They're gonna look at the passport. Go, okay, this fucker is gonna get cavity searched hard. So that's what I was going with. But the guys were really nice. All the TSA people were really polite. Helped us.
But did they give you the glove?
No, nobody gave me any gloves. No.
Oh, I don't know,
And
yeah,
by the way,
but
I've been to
Banksy-
the United
yeah.
States several times since then.
Thanks.
And never
Is
had
this
to-
guy a lefty?
Well, remember, I was in Orange County, so I was in a rich area, and I thought the police were quite overzealous
Dude, I was in
there.
Beverly
So-
Hills. The
But
police were lovely.
imagine what they're like in these kind of like little areas, like like where crime is quite rife. What I will say is this: yeah, I agree that the guy the police officer that was on the guy's neck, should be charged with murder. It was murder. But I don't mind protest, but rioting and looting, is a different thing. Like there's a difference between protesting and rioting and looting. When people are running into places, robbing stores and all that kind of stuff, that needs to be clamped down on, because all that is people kind of taking the opportunity to kind of enriching themselves, and that's not protesting. The people that are out there protesting, big up to those people. But the people that are out there burning things and just freaking going into stores and looting, those people need to be arrested for stealing. in my opinion.
Takia, do you want to get in on this? I think Takia hasn't had a say yet. Simon? Hello? Okay, carry on, people. I gave him a chance.
What's this little, just before I go on, what's this Jewish cat thing?
Me?
That's the strangest thing.
Yeah, I'm playing Castlevania, man.
No, the cat with the Jewish.
Oh, that's my cat.
Oh, you got a Jewish cat?
Yeah.
Does he go to synagogue?
No, he doesn't practice.
Has he had his bar mitzvah yet?
He's a non-practicing Jewish cat.
I'm not practicing
It's
Jew.
coming
All right.
Yeah, pretty much like
he's,
most.
he's just ethnically Jew. He's
Is
not-
he by any chance? It's the Jews.
Is
kind
he
of
what?
guy, is it? No, are you one of those people that, like, you know, when you fall over, like you're walking down the street and you trip, you go, "It's the Jew that did it." Is that you want that type of guy? That
Kind
everything's the Jews' fault.
Kind of.
Oh, so it's the Jews in the plane.
Throw the Jew down the well,
Oh no.
so my country
Not-
can be free.
More so with Israel than anything else. But I mean, I will say the first guy to perform a transgender operation come up with the term gender. Yep.
Oh no.
Hold on,
no.
I got a really good image. Hold on.
Oh no, the Jew did it again. No.
No, okay, I will say on a different point.
Why is the white person so dominated by the Jews, though? If you're the
With what?
how come the white people? Because I classify them as white. I've seen a lot of Jews here. They look just as white as you guys. They just have different dress. But,
Big nose,
just
good
for
hair.
argument's sake, you see them as a different group. Why have they dominated the white man so badly? Because they're on the top of every.
I don't know. People are too
single-
afraid to be anti-Semitic as far as like calling anything out.
Like, couldn't be for the fact that they work hard.
I mean, maybe I don't have an issue with that. I just don't like the things they push, like multiculturalism in the United States and Europe and in their own country. They're extremely against it. They're pretty much liberal in the West and far right in Israel.
I need to break it to you. I'm from Punjabi descent. I'm brown man.
That's cool. I don't care.
Okay. I don't want to scare you off, though. You know.
I don't give a shit, dude. That's fine.
But you just
As
said
long as
about
you don't-
multiculturalism. Like I am somebody from a different background. I'm in the UK, and so I'm definitely in the part of an ethnicity that makes it that multicultural.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you? What's your politics then? Because are you just against the Jews, or is it just overall you're against like everything that's not white? What's the situation?
No, I don't like I don't like groups coming into my country that have very different views ideologically that are not compatible. Think like the Syrian refugees and things like that. That's my issue. I just find so many Jews are very hypocritical. How they're so pro, like why are they not pro it in their country? Like they support multiculturalism to the max in these other countries, but in their own country they want to remain primarily Jewish. I mean, look, if they're consistent, I could respect them, but I just find it weird that
Thanks, yeah, I
discrepancy
can't
there.
stay with this. You take care, mate. Yeah, good night, everybody.
No worries.
Oh!
Have a good one.
No.
Sorry, I just want to confirm. Takia,
And
is that
listen-
you again, mate? Takia watch?
Let's say you said you're Punjabi. I mean, dude, I don't know you. Like I'll try
Sorry.
to assume the best. Like you're a decent person. You wanna live in a civil society. You like what Western cultures create, and you don't want to introduce some
No.
backwards bullshit.
Well, I mean, if you know my kind of stance, I'm like very all right. Like I believe
Guys,
this,
hold on.
okay, sorry.
Simon, you're having mic issues. We can't hear you, mate. I don't know when you unmute your mic, nothing comes out. You're having issues. I don't know. Are you on your phone or are you on your PC? What configurations you're doing? But your mic is not coming through. I don't know if even you can hear us. But anyway, guys, carry on.
Yeah. So, like for me, I mean, you don't know me from Speaker's Corner, so you won't really know my politics. But I'm a Punjabi Sikh. I don't know if you know what a Sikh is, but there are Sikhs in America. We personally don't have like for Sikhs. Yeah, I get frustrated because we're mistaken for Muslims. Like I'm not gonna say Muslims get a hard time, but it is frustrating because the Sikh community, wherever we go, we integrate well. We respect the host nation, and we just want to work hard. We have low prison rates, high education. We're very kind of like we just put our head down, and then so it's difficult because I wear a turban. Yeah, so when I walk about, after a terrorist attack, it gets frustrating, and so like I went to Speaker's Corner to kind of like educate people and say, look, we are actually against this kind of mentality that you want to enforce some foreign ideology into Europe, which is actually, I'll be honest, sorry to the Muslims out there, but like it will actually set back a nation rather than push it forwards. And I know that because I can see it. Like every nation that is ruled by some form of Islamic rule, it's kind of a basket case up to a certain degree. And the West, as many problems as it's got, I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's better than most other systems in terms of democracy and secularism. So that's what, and free speech and all that. That's what I kind of support. I do believe if you're an immigrant to a country, you've got to kind of like, you can't go in there saying you want to freaking change all the laws and shit like that. And kind of
change it like the crappy country it came from. And I'll say, I haven't heard anything bad about Sikhs, so my opinion is pretty neutral. Like, again, I don't think every single immigrant is bad. Like, I think Asians are actually pretty decent people. I'd rather have Japanese in my country than black people at this point. Sorry, but that's how it is. Seriously, like, look at all the riots and all the bullshit we're having. I mean, I know it's because we brought more slaves, and now we're paying for it because a bunch of rich assholes didn't want to pay white people to do something kind of like with Mexican labor here in the United States.
I have to admit, when I went LA, I don't agree with what you're saying about, but when I went LA, I was shocked at one thing though, at the amount of non-blacks there were there. You know, from the West, when you come from the UK, because of the movies, you expect I've always thought the black population was much bigger, especially in like places like, you know, LA. I was shocked about how many Mexicans and Chinese were there. And I mean, only in certain areas did you see white people. When I walked out of LAX, like I was standing next to a Chinese place where people were queuing up. You know, it's like a Chinese bit, but I was still shocked generally about the place, about the amount of Mexicans and Chinese. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it was a little bit surprising.
Don't be afraid to say you think. I mean,
I thought it'd be majority white and black, but it's not now. It seems like it's more majority Mexican and what is it called, Chinese or Oriental. Did you know that although I call myself Punjabi, ethnically, or let's just say national-wise, we're Indians, and the Indians are actually some of the top performing one of the top performing groups in America. Did you know that?
Yeah, no, I don't have as much issue with Indians. One thing I don't like though is a lot of immigrants I notice that come here tend to vote Democrat and tend to vote liberal, and mainly the stuff that liberals are supporting, such as the anti-white shit. That's kind of a big reason why I'm kind of against all immigration really going forward, considering, I mean, I'll just say this, white people will be a minority eventually, and considering how much foreign ethnic groups tend to buy into, liberal ideology, it's a little scary. I just wonder when whites become the minority and all this anti-white shit is being pushed like crazy, what's going to happen when whites are the minority.
Yeah, but I'll give you an example of the UK, the UK, let's just give my group, Sikh, let's say Sikh and Hindu, because Sikh and Hindus are kind of like bunched together because you have a similar kind of mindset when we immigrate. The first generation tends to vote very left, because the left is much more comforting for immigrants, because they have they believe in like the state kind of supporting and helping people. But as the next generations go on, maybe one or two, they start voting conservative, or let's just say more to the right. So within my Sikh community, it was unheard of to vote for the Conservative Party. It was unheard of. Yeah. Now we have conservative like people like the Prime Minister going to the temples and stuff, because they know there's a big vote there. Same with the Hindu community. If you look at the Hindus in the UK government, I mean, there's like 4 or 5 in prominent positions. So, but the Muslim community tends to still vote Labour or on the left for some reason. I don't know why, because the left is actually more liberal and against their actual ideology, because the left actually supports kind of LGBTQ issues and stuff like that. And
LGBT, but okay.
I don't really care. I don't really care about the order of it. But
VIP, XB.
Yeah, but that is. Would you agree with that? Like, the Hindu and Sikh community is going more to the right in terms of politics, so it's a bit more balanced now. Whereas before, you would never hear of a Sikh and Hindu voting conservative. But the Muslim community still votes predominantly conservative.
The Jews have actually shifted. Seriously, the Jewish community has shifted to conservatism.
No, they have not.
No, seriously, I'm not joking.
I'd like to see some stats on that. I mean, not to be a red or bad, but that's Britain, not what I'm saying. They are overwhelmingly liberal.
Should I say in Britain? Maybe in America, but in Britain, because there is a very strong anti-Semitic, if you like, atmosphere in the
the Labour Party,
in
yeah.
the Labour Party, which is sort of the left-wing left-wing party basically, and because of that, the Jewish people have now started to move towards the right. Okay, Simon.
Simon, is it him or not?
Hi.
Oh, is he? There you
Hello.
go, Simon.
Yes, we can hear you. Your mic is very low though. Can you?
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
One.
Sounds good.
1 2 1 2.
Sounds good.
Okay. So
it is finally he is here. He is amongst us.
yes. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
I don't mind
question
it.
for-
I just want to clarify. I don't mind immigrants if I feel they can hold similar values
How about you
and
kick my
ideals as
ass?
me.
Can we continue?
Sorry.
What?
Can we continue?
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. There needs to be a consistent kind of like mindset. Like, you can't have. It's like oil and water. If you try and mix the two together, you've got an outside group coming in, which just doesn't want to abide by the law of the land and want to kind of like create their own society within that society. It's not going to work. You're gonna have conflict after some point. So yeah, I agree with you on that. I just it's just I don't have an issue per se with multiculturalism as long as it's people have the same goal. Yeah, do you understand? Like
Most
we're all
of the time
going.
it's not.
Guys,
So,
guys, give Simon a minute. Let's see what he wanted
Yeah,
to
go
say
ahead.
something earlier on. and he
But
never got a
he
chance.
doesn't speak though. He doesn't speak.
I know. Go on, Simon.
Can you hear me?
You have the floor. Yes, sir.
Okay. So Raj says something that's very important. He said that basically that he doesn't actually disagree with multiculturalism, which just means that you have different values. Raj.
I said I don't mind the multiculturalism as long as everyone's on the same boat in terms of values.
Right. Yeah.
So if one group thinks, well, I'm not talking about exactly, but like if you have a group
Yeah.
coming in that, like for example, like I've come into the UK,
Right.
second generation. I want the best for the UK economically, in terms of security, in terms of the well-being of the country. Yeah, and I want us to be affluent. So my community can also benefit from it too.
Yeah.
But if you're in the UK, I hate the UK. Everything you're trying to do is trying to rock the boat. Yeah, you're on a boat. Yeah, and you're like on the sea, like a dinghy boat, and then there's somebody in there like trying to rock it all the time, trying to chuck people overboard. And that's what I'm saying. You don't have to all
Raj,
be on the exact same page though.
Raj, what you're saying is to me is multi-ethnicity based. It's not basically just not multicultural values, right? It just means that you have different ethnicity with not necessarily different values. Raj.
Yeah, values are the most important thing.
Right.
And wanting the best for the nation you're in. Like,
That's
you have a
right.
lot of people hating. Yeah, obviously the UK has done stuff in the past, and I don't like what they've done. In fact, to my place of origin, they split it in half and gave half of it to the Muslims, like 70% to the Muslims, and and that pisses me off because but I'm not going to come into the UK constantly trying to kind of like destroy the UK
right.
from within.
That's the one thing to you. The movie Kasheri
What?
last year. Kasheri. The movie Kasheri.
I can't hear you. Kashiri. Kasari.
Last year.
Yeah. 21 seats against 10,000
Explain.
Afghans. What's that?
Okay. When black people say you get
Dude, you keep on cutting out, dude, man.
Oh, okay.
You're a little bit cutting in and out, and your mic is very low, Takia. But
Oh, sorry.
keep
Okay.
going. Keep
So,
going. Try to speak
When I
into
do
the mic.
when I do, it means big up.
Ah,
Oh, okay.
Kasheri.
All right. There's a movie called Kasari.
Kashiri.
Sorry, I thought you said Kasari because Kasari was a movie about 21 Sikhs against 10,000 Afghans.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Oh,
Yes,
okay, yeah. We call it the Battle of Serengeti though, so big up to them, man.
Last year.
Yeah. So I did a drawing and it's in Sandhurst Military Academy. I don't know if it's in a
really?
draw. Yeah. I'll give you
Okay.
yeah.
Explain, please. So, for those who don't know what we are talking about, is if you have a minority fighting against a majority who are trying to oppose their worldview, you fight back, and that would be like Raj, correct me if I'm mistaken, but like if we'll have like 20 like Jews against 1,000 Nazis, right? They're fighting back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm not saying
I mean-
I'm not all right. So I'm not saying that we're gonna do like a fight back in terms of that, but we can't like
Yeah.
in order like you can't go continuously for long periods of time with groups that are within your own country that want the worst for the
right.
country. Because at some point, like, you know what I'm talking about, like the kind of the extremist,
Of course.
like guys that I've met over the time. I remember the guy. We met so many people at Speaker's Corner that whose mindset is like I would deport those little bitches. I'm not gonna lie, man. No offense
Like the
to them. Well,
Zabidas?
100%.
no. I'm talking about people like Abu Qasim, Abu Tablet, Muhammad Taweed. I'd freaking if I was in charge, man, I'll freaking like go up to their house. I'll freaking drag them out and put them in an orange jumpsuit and freaking deport their bitches.
I'd like to do that to the Zabidas as well.
I don't say that, please. Can you not?
So
can
who
you
gets
not
to
gun,
pick?
can you not gun and use your kind of like the thingy anger towards Real now because he's gone against you? Come on, dude.
Real. You see, the thing with Real is that, to be honest, I don't really care about people calling me fat and this and that, insulting just generally. That's not my problem. My problem is with Zabida and her insistence on the paedophile thing, which she is a paedophile apologist that has now been proven to be a paedophile apologist with a rapey boyfriend who has actually threatened to rape people. He is in fact sworn on God's name, on his Allah, to rape Raspect. I never swore on any holy book to do anything to anyone.
I'm still going to say it. I'm going to still stick with this, which is that I believe, like I've said stuff to guys that I'm going to bar your bundi, yeah? And in Punjabi that means I'm going to rip your ass, yeah.
So
Now-
how is it that mine is more valid than his? And by the way,
Well, I'll be
day
honest
number
with you,
5, still no police.
I'll be
Slut.
honest with you, I would never say that to a female because I would be fearful. One, I think it would be wrong to say it, and secondly, I'm trying to advise you, Banksy. I'm not trying to.
You're just white knighting. That's
No, it's
just
not white knighting. Look, there's a
Simp.
difference between.
Are
There's
the
a difference
women
between
and men
white.
not made equal.
No, let me say something here. Look here, men and women are different.
So
We're not.
You're
we're
a misogynist, then,
treated
Rog.
equally. No, I'm not. I'm a realist. Yeah.
Misogynist, because you
No,
don't
the
think that
problem with-
women
oh,
are
no,
equal
Race
to men.
realist.
Let me explain. The problem with the West is this: they've got in a predicament now that women can do exactly like men can do, and men can do exactly like women can do. No, we have
That's true,
two
though.
like. No, we can't. They can't do the same thing. If we was
so you're a
to say, I don't know
misogynist.
what. Well, no, I'm telling you something now. If I was in a fire, yeah, and a woman turned up to get me out that fire, I'd be pissed. How's she gonna pick me up?
So you are a misogynist.
that's pretty
I'm a
good
real.
stuff, bro.
Yeah, like, I would want a guy to try and come into that fire because a woman's not gonna be able to do certain jobs. I mean, even when they do like the like in armies and stuff like that, yeah, I'm telling you, it's not gonna work out because it's only like gonna be a 1% of those females are gonna be able to are capable.
Dude,
of
in my
doing-
taekwondo class, the women there kick the guys' asses, mine included.
There you go. There
Yeah,
you
but-
go. Do you want me to show
about,
you
like-
jiu-jitsu videos of women owning men?
Yeah.
So if you was to put on average, say you got 10 MMA fighters, trained MMA fighters, and 10 female MMA fighters, I'm pretty sure 9 of those fights would go towards the men.
Yeah, but
I
it
would
doesn't-
say half and half.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
first of all, with
no.
jiu-jitsu, it's a very different thing when it comes to skill level. But that's not the point, is it? The point is, are you saying that a woman can't do what a man can?
I'm saying that women can, but certain jobs, yeah, men are just going to be, just because of the physicality, are just going to be better. It's just a fact.
So
I'm
you are
sorry.
saying
I mean,
that
if you-
there are some things women
Yeah.
can't do the men
Yeah,
can.
the difference between saying a woman can't do something, I'm not saying a woman can't get me out of a fire. So if I was unconscious in a fire in a room and the fire's coming around me, a woman, a couple of percentage of the women might be able to drag me out. But I would prefer, if I was to have the choice, a man do it, because I know for a fact that he's probably going to be able to lift me up and get me out quicker just because of his physicality. I don't think that's not sexist. That's just being realistic. Not everyone is
highly
like Rondi
misogynistic of you.
Reed or whatever her name is. Yeah, not
That-
everybody is like that.
That is very misogynistic of you. Rob.
Sorry, this
Yeah,
is why
can we remove him, Banksy? I can't
know.
deal with
This
it.
is why-
I find
this is why the
it
West, yeah.
sickening. Where's the Antifa when we need them?
the West is going to die, yeah, because what they've done is they've got to the point where, because of their liberalism and the way they think, they want to start saying men and women are exactly the same. A woman can do exactly the same as a man can do, and that's a death of a civilization, in my opinion. Because once you start thinking like that, yeah, you're pretty much screwed.
I don't know how much the Twitter lobby is.
This is wrong. Think. Shut it down. Shut it down. That's what I say.
I've seen stuff in America. There was one college. I forgot what that college was a couple of years ago with this teacher, and he tried to kind of like I can't remember what exactly he said, and the students freaking went ape shit, like literally were mental. So the colleges and universities in the West have just become kind of indoctrinated with this kind of bullshit. I remember I'm on the left, yeah, economically. Like I was a Labour Party member for God knows how many years. I used to, canvass, and I met Tony Blair. Yes, I did. I met Tony Blair and all that kind of stuff. So but even I've gone to the right on certain issues, like certain things. Yeah, I can't stand in the left. I think the left is just like at the moment is just kind of self-imploding. To be honest, with you, they're going to destroy their own civilizations.
Yeah, you're talking about the education system. Banksy, do I have permission to blame it on a certain group of people?
Oh no!
I'm just kidding.
Did they have anything to do with your cat image by any chance?
I mean,
is it the cat people?
A little bit.
Are we talking about the cat people here, people?
Yes. No. I mean, you know what he was asking me earlier? Like, here's the thing. I haven't researched enough to say definitively, yes, like you can blame all these things. It's just I've seen certain things here and there that kind of make me like, wow, didn't know that before. Mainly a lot of stuff on Israel. I used to always like buy into the conservative message that Israel's our greatest ally and they've never done any wrong. Or no, okay, I'm not going to go hyperbole here, but like they're a good ally. They haven't really they're really on our side. And like certain things I've seen, like the USS Liberty incident, the Levon affair, the fact that a lot of these wars seem to be more in Israel's interest than our own, and they lobby the shit out of our politics, which I find to be a weird connection. You can look up the Apollo incident where they stole weapons grade uranium from a United States company. There's just a lot of stuff that made me rethink that stuff. But, I look at some of these like alt-right guys on Twitter, some of the things they bring up, and I look it up. I mean, some of it is kind of interesting about like, a lot of the people that started the transgender stuff are Jewish. I mean, does that really mean anything? I mean, what can I draw there? It's kind of hard to say, but it's just something that I find interesting as information. I know wrong think, can't question things, but no, I'm not going to say definitively like.
Do you kind of like, why would, let's say the I'm going to ask you a question, but it's more rhetorical, yeah?
Yeah, that's all good.
Why do you think the American right, the evangelicals are supporting Israel and the state of Israel to
God's
a degree?
Chosen people, man.
Well, yeah, so you need to understand most Zionists are actually Christian evangelicals.
No,
they
don't. Let me Zionists. Okay, my bad. I thought you were talking about Jews. My bad. Go ahead.
Right. So what the thing is here, that when it comes to the state of Israel, white people, the Jews here are not really in control. It's the American kind of evangelical group that is kind of like, kind of like giving enough money to the American government in certain places to lobby them, because they believe, that when the state of Israel is created and the Al-Aqsa Mosque is destroyed and the Temple Mount is rebuilt, the Messiah is coming back. Yeah. So if you have this kind of devout kind of belief system that you believe that this XYZ needs to happen in order for Jesus to come back, you're gonna push that group, aren't you? So
absolutely.
You should really blame the Christians. The other reason why the Jews are in the banking system, why do you think? Why are so many Jews in the banking system?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked too much into that, but I've heard some things on that.
All right. So in the past, when Europe was very religious, they used to they couldn't do usury. Yeah. So they started getting the Jews to do that job because they didn't want to do it. Now the problem with that is that if you push a group into a particular job, and then their children have to be trained into that job, then their children are then trained into that job. It's at some point, they're going to start dominating that field. And in a way, it's the Europeans, the Christian Europeans, that are pushing the Jews to be the most powerful group. And I'm going to be honest with you, I big up the Jews. I look at the Jews, I don't look at it like, oh, it's bad. I'm like, dude, like whatever they're doing, man, I wish the Sikhs would do the same thing. Because they're pushing,
I don't care that they're powerful and they have a lot of rules. I just don't like the things they tend to advocate for. That's what kind of annoys me. And I mean, I don't really look at a certain point as like, oh, we just disagree a little bit on things. I mean, when you're advocating for things that are going to pretty much destroy the country or completely change our way of life, like multiculturalism, immigration, the transgender stuff. I mean, that's kind of a little bit where I don't just look at it as like, we have a disagreement. I mean, I don't know. That's the way I look at it. I just find it odd. The biggest kicker for me is how they're so pro multiculturalism in Europe and America, but not in Israel. It's just kind of weird.
Because you can argue that Europe, has a long-standing history of being white. Well, I agree with you. That's the truth. Yeah. I mean, India has been brown for most of its kind of history, but America, you've only been there for what, 400 years. Prior to you, there's thousands of years of history.
200, 300 years.
Native American, and so it's not really your continent to own to that degree. Like, you're based upon immigration. Like your parents or your ancestors were immigrants. People coming into are going to be immigrants. So I don't really get the American argument at all. It's kind of like you're being the biggest hypocrites.
I mean, listen, I didn't come to this fucking, like, I mean, that was long ago, and the way I look at it, okay, sure. Like, honestly, from the Indians' perspective, I would understand if they fucking fought tooth and nail to get us out of there. Yeah, I mean, that's their people. It's just, doesn't mean, just because of that history, doesn't mean I'm going to lay back and be like, all right, let's just bring in these people that are just going to fucking, completely ruin this country and just turn into a fucking third world. I mean, sorry, I'm not going to just have that mindset just because what happened 1,000 years ago. We're here and that's that. Native Americans are very thinly populated. They wouldn't be able to take all this country. I mean, that's not gonna happen now. What's done is done. Yeah, was it wrong objectively? Sure, but I'm not gonna have white guilt over that shit. You know what I mean?
I'm not telling you to have white guilt. I'm not telling you to feel guilty.
Okay,
I'm trying to show you the hypocrisy. It's like, I could, like, when someone from Europe here, say, just to give the example of the UK, goes, we don't want our country to become, we don't want the indigenous population to become the minority. I can kind of at least have some empathy, because I'm like, okay, I wouldn't want my people in the Punjab to become the minority.
But they
I don't care what anyone
really.
thinks.
But are they?
Whatever, they're not. The Sikhs are the majority in the Punjab, in my area, in the Indian side. So it was split in half here. So if I always use the kind of like comparison, like, if I was to go to the Punjab and all of a sudden there's 30% Chinese people and they're speaking Chinese and they're making all the areas Chinese, I'm not going to be happy. It doesn't mean I hate the Chinese.
But Raj, don't you have a Muslim Punjab and a Hindu Punjab?
Yeah, it was split.
Okay, so really the Punjab, as a totality, you are a minority within that group.
Well, if you look, we've always been a minority. Even when we was the minority, only 5%, we was ruling 85% Muslims.
No, I don't mean what you were doing. I mean, you may all have bigger dicks, but I'm saying when just because you were all well endowed, well, it doesn't mean you were you still actual demographically in the Punjab.
But ethnically we're still the same people. We just got different religion and different mindset. But ethnically, I'm pretty sure if we'd done a DNA test, we'd all pretty much be very similar.
Okay. So you're not counting the Punjab on a religious or cultural level.
Yeah,
you're talking about it on an ethnic level. Ethnically, you and the Muslim Punjabis and the Hindu Punjabis are all Punjabis.
Yeah, we're Punjabi
so
ethnically.
It's still
we're
ethnically homogenous.
So we have the same language, we have the same.
Well,
but we've been.
This is interesting, though. Can I just pause 1 second? Yeah. Although, because the case most ethno-nationalists in Britain make is that if Britain has an ethnically homogenous country and they become, they go back up to becoming 90% the majority or whatever, then the culture of that society will follow suit, because culture is downstream apparently from ethnicity. But in your case, you are ethnically Punjabi but culturally Sikh, and then there are ethnic Punjabis who are culturally Muslim, and there are ethnic Punjabis who are culturally Hindu. So it doesn't seem that ethnicity dictates culture. Let
me explain what's happened with the Punjabi. So the Punjab was one place for thousands of years. Indus Valley civilization was in the Punjab. That's where a king, Alexander the Great went into the Punjab, but he got pushed back by King Porus, who was a Punjabi. All the Mahabharat from, the Vedas are from the Punjab in Haryana. Sanskrit, the oldest language, is from Haryana in the Punjab. So it's got thousands of years worth of history.
Sure.
But when Islam come in the 10th century, and then Sikhism come about in the 15th century, that's when we started differing slightly in culture. So I did an experiment the other day because Ards, who's a Pakistani Punjabi Muslim, was saying I'm not a real Punjabi. But when I Google Punjabi, it's always Sikhs, and the reason why Sikhs always turn up in the cultural part of Punjabi, or when I type Punjabi, because Islam has changed the culture of Muslim Punjabis to a big degree.
Yeah, but that's
so let me explain mine. So when you're looking at the culture between the two, we speak the same language, we eat pretty much the same food, we look very similar unless you take the turban off, but we are very different culturally in the sense of Sikhs, yeah, we love music. So there's so many musical singers, we dominate that field, even though we're the minority, we're 95%
Sure.
are Sikh Punjabi. When you're looking at the Tol, you know the Tol, ding ding ding, yeah?
Yeah.
They're not allowed to play it. We're allowed. So all of their main Tol players here are from Sikh background. When you're looking at dancing, we love dancing, and this was something that was within the Punjab way before Sikhs were there, way before Islam come. Because whenever there was a harvest, in the April time, they used to celebrate by singing and dancing. Now that part of the culture and the art as well. Remember art? We used to love, drawing, and we still do. All of these little nuances, have been taken out the Muslim side, but the Sikh and Hindu side have still retained it.
Yeah, but
so it.
Raj, I totally accept that. I totally accept all of this. My argument isn't about Punjab. My argument is for the ethno-nationalists who make the case that only an ethnically homogeneous place can then have a particular culture, that ethnicity influences cultural behavior. And actually the Punjab, with its divide between India and Pakistan, demonstrates that you can be ethnically homogeneous but culturally incredibly divisive.
Yeah, you're right. Your
ethnicity doesn't dictate your culture.
It's religion that has changed it. It's not.
Yeah, but
it's the religious belief
dictates
that
culture.
made a massive difference. Yeah.
Yeah, but religion then dictates culture and music and art and all the rest. So Britain could be ethnically 100% white English Anglo-Saxon and still be an Islamic state. I mean, that's the argument to the ethnic nationalists. That would
wait, Raj. Or no, go ahead.
What did you say that last bit about ISIS? I didn't hear it.
Sorry. No. I said Britain could be ethnically 100% Anglo-Saxon, Scottish, Welsh, English, and Northern Irish, 100%. No other ethnicities. Expel every foreigner, even if they're mixed race, but could still become an Islamic state.
Yeah, it could. I mean, the ethnicity can be the culture can be changed massively by religion. Like this is why, Pakistan had to separate from India, because culturally we were ethnically we're the same people, but culturally we become so different because of religion that it was hard to kind of relate to people. So for me, I find it very hard to relate to Punjabi Muslims if they're very religious. Because when they're very religious, they don't like anything that a Punjabi normally likes. But remember when Argent Speaker's Corner, he's never been religious, so it was very easy for me to connect with him when it comes to the Punjabi stuff. Yeah, and so that's the thing that you can have. I mean, it could happen in the UK that you can have a whole population of white converts that will become so different from the indigenous population. Talking about
so they could actually create a Punjab situation where there will be Muslim English people divided by Christian English people, divided by atheist English people.
Yeah, 100%. I've always said that's possible.
It's just the argument of what I'm trying to make is actually not an argument with you. It's actually for the audience that are listening, that these people who make the case that your country is changing because of all these foreigners, it's actually not necessarily the foreigners. I mean, the foreigners will have an influence because they will naturally bring their background with them, but it is actually the case that ethnicity doesn't equal cultural change. Like if your country goes back to becoming all white the way some of these guys make it, because a lot of the people who support ethno-nationalism is because they don't want their country to change. They want their country to remain as it was. Your ethnicity could become homogenous, but your country will still change. So the change in your country comes from somewhere else. It doesn't come from just keeping an ethnic homogenous nation. Your ethnic homogeny does not dictate how your country is going to operate. Your
I mean, if
country
you
could
had,
still be
I'll
Islamic.
I'll give an example. If you had like, let's just for an argument's sake, the UK, a large proportion of the white indigenous population becomes Muslim, but they're more in the line of, let's say, Jordan M's kind of mindset. Like he's retaining his kind of Englishness, but he's still a Muslim.
Yeah, but how about Hamza? How about
Yeah,
Isa?
but then, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. If you did that, I mean, culturally, it would change a bit. Yeah, it would change. There's no doubt about it. But it wouldn't be a massive change. But if you had someone like Hamza, the Ginger Devil,
Yeah.
and everyone had his mindset, UK would not be the same place. It would be a totally different country. Because everything will be run according to, because the Punjabi people are a good experiment. Because look, we have a problem with certain things like alcohol and stuff, even though we're not supposed to drink, from both sides. You know, the Pakistanis have the problem, the Sikhs have the problem. There's something about the people of that area that, for some reason,
Maybe it's
like to get a little.
genetically how you metabolize alcohol.
Well, the area has been invaded before the Brits invaded from sea. The only way to get into India was from the Punjab. So think about it, like nearly every war, you had to go through. And so the people of that area tend to be much more kind of bigger, not me in particular, but just on average compared to the rest of the Indians.
Yeah.
But it would over a period of time, even the people of that area, like when you start taking out certain things that make, like for the Punjabis, we love music. Yeah, it's been in our blood for thousands of years. We love the instruments, the dance, everything like that. And if you take that big component out, and you can't do that, you do changes. Like you're like two separate people almost. After a point, you become very different. You can speak the same language and you can look the same, but it's harder to kind of like relate to that person when you start changing to that degree. Because I believe art and music is a massive component of a culture.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's a big component. A lot of people underestimate how much of a component it is of a culture. And I think, if you look at the UK when you're walking about, a lot of people say, oh, the UK's got no culture. But the culture is the buildings, the statues, the comedy, the humor, the music. Do you understand? And if you take all of this stuff out, imagine an Islamic comedy store. Like, it's not going to be that good, isn't it? It's going to be pretty terrible. So if you start taking all that stuff out, your culture is going to try and change drastically for the worse.
I don't think there is such thing as an Islamic.
If you look at the UK,
I think those things are mutually exclusive from each other.
yeah, I mean, in terms of the Asian community, like I think when it comes to integration, there's one group that has nailed it like totally, and it's not the Sikhs. Guess who it is?
Who?
The Hindus. Do you know how many Hindus are in the UK?
Oh, as far as what? As far as like being successful?
Just generally melding into the society.
Yeah. I have to say, although I've seen a lot of Sikhs that are as English as any Englishman I've ever, so behaviorally, you know what I mean? They do all the, let's go down the pub, let's do this, let's go out for a takeaway.
Yeah, Sikhism doesn't promote.
Oh
we don't agree with it.
Smoke a fag.
Yeah, so, but what I'm trying to say is that, although the Sikhs are a good kind of like people to, like, we're fun people, we love to have a good time. Yeah, but the thing is, when it comes to Hindus, when it comes to just merging into, there's 1.5 million Hindus in the UK. Now, they're not only the top education-wise in terms of grades, they're not only the top in terms of employment, they're not only lowest in the crime rate, but on top of that, look at the government. Yeah, did you see how, that guy, the treasurer, the what's his name? Something
Treasure
Rishi.
Master.
The Rishi, what's his name? You've seen that Asian guy, the guy that was doing the treasury.
Rishi. Oh, damn it. The guy who's in charge of the treasury.
Yeah, he's a Punjabi Hindu. He's from the Punjab, yeah, and he's a Hindu. And there's another guy that's always on the
Rishi Sunak.
And there's another guy, Santok. I forgot what he's a Hindu. He's one of the top government aides. You've got another lady. I think her name. I've forgotten her name. She's also a top in the Conservative Party, and all of them are in the Conservative Party. Yeah, and that's what I said to you. The Hindu community has gone very much to the right. As the thing is, the more affluent the community gets, they tend to drift more towards the right.
This is why the richer. This is why the older people get. As they grow up in age, they tend to become more conservative because they tend to accumulate some wealth. They have a house. They have a mortgage. They have all of these things, and conservatism and also capitalist society tends to lend better to someone who has a bit of affluence in life. The communists are in two groups. One, young people who are idealistic, because communism is a very idealistic sort of mindset, and poor people who, give me some free shit. So of course the poor are going to be all for communism and socialism, and the young people are idealistic because they're they got no experience in life, they have no assets, they have nothing, they get pocket money from mummy and daddy. They live, I mean, young people for the most of their lives up until when they start get a job, unless their parents put them to work, like paper routes or this or that, they live a communist lifestyle. Mummy and daddy provide everything. They give you things. You just go out and enjoy yourself, go to school. Your only obligations to the household is to go to school and to basically play PlayStation in your house.
Yeah, Banksy, I've heard some proposals that the only people that should be allowed to vote are those with that own land and are married. I mean, yeah, that wouldn't be too fair to most people, but I don't think that'd be the worst outcome. Just saying.
Well, I mean, back in the day, there was a time in the United States, I'm not sure, I think it was also in Britain, where only landowners were allowed to vote because they actually,
I thought you were going to say land whales, and then I was like,
land whales. Well, we're not talking about Zobida tonight.
don't.
That's
boom.
me.
But one thing I will say, I don't know about landowners, because I think land ownership, because of land being such a scarce commodity, is going to heavily bias a particular group. I think we should have actually something like Starship Troopers, where you actually do.
Sorry, somebody in the back chat is posting up full pictures of Wendy's kids. Yeah, I'm doing like full picture with telephone number.
I don't have a back chat.
I don't know. Yeah, it's in the back chat of Amy Skits Angel. Somebody.
Yeah,
you know what?
I don't have any access to any of that stuff.
I'm not sure how you can get in, because they've got a telephone number on there as well. I'm gonna have to screenshot it as proof for Wendy.
Tell Wendy all about it. The problem is these back chats are kind of off the grid, and I'm not even part of most of them because I haven't been part of Hangouts for like about a year.
I'm gonna have
Hey, Raj.
Can someone give me Wendy Woo's thingy? Because this is not just some little random picture. There's a telephone number with the young girl's face for, and then it's I'm assuming that's her daughter or granddaughter.
Her kids have nothing to do with it, you fucking piece of shit. Whoever's posting
why are
that.
These people so fucking scummy, man.
And Amy, yeah, like if you're listening, why are you laughing at stuff like that? This is wrong.
I don't know if she's probably even, she probably isn't even in this.
Oh yeah, when we get the chance, I want to address some real quick with what Raj said earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say one last thing about the America being a nation of immigrants. I'll just say this, and I don't want to mischaracterize. I'm just asking this a genuine question. Do you think I should not look out for my interests as a result?
100% you should. And also the people that you. I mean, this is one thing I don't look. I get that there is a level of hypocrisy that white people say, America should be majority white. That is somewhat hypocritical.
I think it's only hypocritical if you justify the colonization, or if you think like, oh, it was great. Because, I mean, to me, I'm not saying it was a great thing. It just happened. That's how it is. That's the way I look at it. And, I mean, the thing is, it's like, okay, let's say someone invades my country, the United States, just like we invade when the Native Americans are here. Are you going to say the same thing like, oh, well, you did it to them, so you better just accept it, buddy?
This is it. This is the part that I don't think Americans or white Americans should just take. This is the concept that actually I don't even believe natives of Europe should just take. I keep saying these things that you guys, these demographic changes that are happening in your own countries, this is a rod that the white man has made for his own back. He is allowing this to happen. I'm not saying that, I myself and Raj and others, we love to integrate. I love the United Kingdom. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful country with so many non-racist, truly non-racist people who actually help people. And I can give you numerous examples of Iranians who have come here and had to and have been fully supported by white English people and backstabbed and all sorts of shit done to them by Iranians. And this is like the number of examples I have are not just an odd sort of anecdotal story here and there. It's numerous. But I will say that you should not. I mean, if you're in a war and a country, an invading army takes over your country, you don't have a choice. The Punjab, the Persians, so on and so forth. We didn't have a choice on those invading armies. The white people of the indigenous white people of Europe and the colonizers of the United States and Canada, you are letting the invader come into your country.
Yeah.
You are just opening the fucking doors on the and are willing to be sacrificed on the altar of multiculturalism and diversity. That's on you. That is a rod that you made for your own back.
Absolutely. And if the argument is that I'm being selfish, I mean, I'm sorry. At the end of the day, anytime you're advocating against immigration or any of that shit, you're selfish because you're looking out for your interests over another person's. But you know what? That's just how it is. I'm sorry, but that's human nature, and you can't help everyone.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you believe in the Great Replacement?
Yeah, I kind of do a little bit, considering the numbers. Yes, and the thing is, even the left backs it. They call it the Great Enrichment. So yeah, I 100% believe in that. I don't think it's.
How old are you?
In my 20s, I'll just say that.
Yeah.
How many kids you got?
Nothing.
0.
Yeah, I mean, this is the biggest issue I'm having with a lot of the Great Replacement. I've spoken to so many young guys, some of them in their 30s and stuff like that, and between around 5 of them, they've not got a 0 kid.
I'm all for having kids. I'm not in a position to have kids right now. I mean, I 100% want kids at some point. 100%. It's something that's completely in my. I mean, I don't see how that changes because it's I could have kids in the next year, and is my argument suddenly going to be valid? It's so circumstantial. I get what you're saying, but
if I speak to 5 ethno-nats who all say the white race is dying and there's the Great Replacement, and then I say to them, how many kids you got, and they're all in their mid-20s or mid-30s, and every single one says 0 kids. In a way, they're the ones that are killing out their own race.
Well, there is an argument. I'm not going to deny it. There's an argument to be made for that, Raj, that yes, the white people should definitely start looking into having to basically open the baby factories. But you see, that is not something. First of all, you can go into conspiracy theories and say this wasn't something that they did off their own back. This was conditioned into them for decades of consumerism and selfish sort of mindset that was conditioned into them. So there is something to be said about that. But there's also the flip side is that the left or the leftist mindset is just letting immigration go crazy,
I mean, how is it wrong? How's it wrong when it's true?
So Banksy, I look here. Things in these back chats getting a bit crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to quickly. Let me just
do
see.
your thing. Do your thing, dude. Let it be. Do you? I mean, you can stay here if you want, mute up, or you can just go off and do your thing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna quickly do a quick stream just to get Wendy on it because I didn't have to get her. She needs to start to see what's going on.
Put a note in one of her videos comment box as well.
See, because this guy's posting her grandkids' pics all in the back chat. So just give me a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna have to shoot. Yeah, let me just quickly do a live stream quick just to kind of see where she is, and she might jump on if someone can contact her. Anyway, big up. But good to talk to you lot anyway.
No worries, Raj.
Yeah, next time your I don't know, your burger's cold. It was the Jew. It was the Jew. Yeah. Anyway, I'm off.
Yeah. Take care. But Treasure, I see. This is where because I did a whole video about the ethno-nationalists in Britain.
No, yeah, I heard a little bit about it. Yeah,
and I also talked about repatriation. My fears, my worries, and my warning to the ethno-nationalists is that what you start, you may or quite often will not finish. Some other person will come and take your revolution, if you like, from you. They'll hijack it, and then they will go fucking ape shit. And
I don't see anything happening. Like, I mean, honestly, like, yeah, I think what's said is said. I just like to pose this: how is the Great Replacement some weird conspiracy theory when the statistics show what's happening, and you look at people on the left, like even Joe Biden, people like that, like all these people are saying whites will be a minority, and they're celebrating that fact. They say, hell yes, you're getting replaced. I mean, there's liberal articles supporting. How is it a
Yeah,
conspiracy
no,
theory?
I don't see that as a conspiracy. I never
Yeah.
call that. I see that as it's just a perfect. It's a perfect storm of several events coming together. White people not having enough kids, a total destruction in family structure, and a consumerist attitude that has been fermented into multiple generations since the Second World War. So if you have a consumer based mindset that you're constantly thinking about how can I get the next consumer piece of crap, you see, you right now, I promise you, Treasure, if you actually look at your work, you look at your finances, you'll be able to have children. You can have children. I know.
Oh no,
a
yeah.
guy-
I'm not saying financially.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I guess go and drop the incel
Yeah, but
insults in chat. But no, I don't have a girlfriend, so I'm not like.
no. But it's
I
not
got-
just having a girlfriend. You can get a girlfriend. I promise you can easily get a
No,
girlfriend.
yeah.
You can easily.
I'm just
You
not in
can.
a
You
position
can.
to right
You can
now,
not
that's all.
easily, but you can with great deal of difficulty afford to raise children. It's not going to be easy for
course.
you. I know some guy at the age of 21. He has 2 children right now. You think he's able to raise these children easily? You think he's able to get housing? He's currently still living with his mum. His 2 kids and his wife or his girlfriend are living with their dad, and they are now desperately trying to get money and save up to be able to afford a deposit on a flat and to be able to move out. But nevertheless, he's able to. It's not that he's able to do it. He's just forced to do it because his girlfriend got pregnant, and she had a first child, and now they're together. And then she had a second one, like a year later. It's like fucking hell, back to back. So this guy is
Yeah.
having to just deal. Life has thrown him this. Thrown him into this deep end, and he's just dealing with it. Every one of us can do this. We all have a means. You will find the means to get your kids up. What do you think? A Somali who works? I literally, not even a Somali. I literally know one of my brother's friends. His father, he's Egyptian. His father worked at McDonald's. He was a supervisor at McDonald's. My brother's friend, was one of 7 children. 7 children. This Egyptian man had 7 children on a McDonald's wage, and the mother didn't work, by the way. This is how they're doing it. And you're telling me you can't have kids? You're telling
No,
me
no,
these
no,
white
yeah.
folks can't have kids? Of course they can.
Oh yeah, I understand. I'll explain like where I am and all this. So like as far as my career, like I'm not gonna dox myself, but I have a pretty decent career that I'm proud of, and I'm not worried as far as that. I mean, there's my family owns a bunch of land. I could easily build a house there. It's mainly like I just it's kind of hard to meet decent women. My opinion nowadays. I'm not going on some incel shit. Yes, now women are fucking like fucking basic bitch whores. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying a lot of the women I met are kind of but I'm sure one day I'll meet the right one. It's just I'm not gonna be so quick to have kids, but I would like to at least have kids before I'm 30, ideally. Or something like that. I mean, I don't want to have kids as soon as possible, but however things work, that's all.
I know, absolutely, that's fine.
Yeah, and that completely appeals to me, the
don't
family
you want-
life. And I find it funny how much that's demonized nowadays. Like they think you're an evil person for having kids.
Well,
a lot of people.
that's the left. That's further
Yeah.
indoctrination from the left. The left have systematically. I mean, there's been, as I said, it's a perfect storm. There's been the systematic indoctrination of consumerism, so that you need to have that next this or next that. You can't have kids unless you have a 4-bedroom house, a 3-bedroom house, a 10-bedroom house, whatever. You have to have this car. You have to have that. So not only
Yeah,
you
no, I
yourself, you
understand.
may not be materialistic. The woman you get with is going to press on those.
Yeah,
buttons
that's
for
what
you.
sucks. I mean,
So-
you want your kids to live well. I mean, that's one thing. That completely makes sense. I mean, I'd want to have enough money, take my kids to Disney World or where the fuck they want to go and shit like that. Well, I want to go to Disney World. Screw Disney. But no, I mean that's ideal. But if not, I mean, I don't feel like I mean, there's kids that grow up in really wealthy households and they're not necessarily like, oh man, they're living up. I mean, I think what matters more in a household is the time you spend together, how much of a family man you are, how invested you are, not how good you are financially. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to be fucking dirt poor. Like that's not good. I don't, that'd suck. Like where you don't have money to do anything, you can't buy them anything nice. Like, just be comfortable,
Yeah.
If you can't travel often, so be it. As long as you can,
It's-
provide them with nice things and a decent life,
I mean, it's doable. Don't get me wrong, and also in some circumstances, those children will probably motivate you to progress better in career or get a business together, or you know what I mean, because you have a big motivator, a big push behind you. Like, I got to get a bigger house because I've got third kid coming along. I got to get this, I got to get that. So you will actually be far more motivated. A single man, I'll be honest, isn't as motivated as a married man. It just, the motivation isn't there because you're like, I got a 1 bedroom, I got a decent car, I got a decent job. What the fuck do I need? I'm just gonna go on holiday. Why do I need to fucking buy a bigger house? So that what? I have 3 more empty rooms. So a single guy isn't going to be as motivated as a married guy with kids. So there's that. Also, Dave says here, a weaponized birth race is no answer. I agree with you, but it is part of the answer. Part of the answer. You have to have your population. You have to start moving towards building generation after generation of motivated family people, family orientated, next generation. So your next generation, your Zoomers, should all be growing up with the idea that it is good to have a husband and a wife and a 2-parent household, that it is good to have a community where you can actually raise children. You should also encourage your communities to help you raise your children. Muslim communities do that. You think all these 6, 7 kids are being raised by just a mum and a dad? There's aunties and uncles and grandmas and grandfathers all involved in raising those children.
That's one thing I do respect about other cultures is how they're more family oriented. Like, one thing I like about, it seems like white people just, like, they're elderly, they just fucking dump them in a nursing home to rot. Meanwhile, in like these other cultures, they have, like, the wife of the youngest son or something like that take care of the grandparents, or they don't just dump them in a fucking nursing home. Like, they actually respect them and take care of them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah, so I appreciate that.
They say there's an old saying that says it takes a village to raise a family. And it is true. It's a village-like mentality that they have, in which they rear their children in, and the Western white man doesn't have that mindset. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They don't.
I definitely wouldn't want a shit ton of kids because I feel like I couldn't really be personalized raising them. Like, I feel like it'd be hard to be as involved with them on an individual level if I had too many. I mean, I feel like 3 max. Yeah. That's kind of about close to what I grew up in, and I feel like that works quite well. Also, unless I keep getting girls, like, I have at least one son. Gotta have someone to carry the family name.
Well, yeah, there's that as well. Also, there's another thing. Now, Fee Green says, who's paying for all of that? It's true, the taxpayer is paying a lot of that in Britain. But again, I think the culture and the societies are naturally going to have to evolve around that, where we no longer give so much social services because, unfortunately, we've got too many people who are scrounging off it. So yeah, that's gonna change. Eventually, I'm gonna be as blatant, as plain as I can be with the world. United States, I don't know about the United States. I can't speak for United States. United Kingdom is where I live and is where I'm gonna most likely die. It's going to have to become an incredibly uncomfortable place to be a migrant. So if you're someone out in the African continent or in Middle East or wherever, if you're not willing to work bloody hard and to put everything behind making money and supporting yourself, the government is not going to give you any more. That safety net, unfortunately, is going to go because it's unsustainable. We can't afford to keep paying social services, social security, and all of these things. And by the way, all of those things were meant to be for the indigenous of these people, or at least not even the indigenous, the taxpayers of this nation. The healthcare that we had, the social security that we have, housing benefit, all of these things were supposed to be for the people who paid tax into the system, so that others can benefit as a safety net, so you're not in deep poverty. Unfortunately, our foreign policies are now going to destroy those safety nets, and Britain will eventually become a country where it no longer has those safety nets. And funny enough, you know what's going to happen? Those migrants are not going to want to come here anymore because it's not going to have those safety nets, and it's not. But or what you do is you shift your system. This is where the left is a massive like anchor, ball and chain at our legs, is that you have to shift the social services, the healthcare, all of those things to taxpayers only. Everybody gets issued, we all get issued a national insurance card in this country. And it shows from that record how long you've worked, how much tax you've paid, everything. How much you've paid into the NHS, how much have you paid into the national social security, pension, all of that. Only people who've paid a certain amount get that service for free. If you haven't paid, I'm sorry, and the computer systems will always be able to keep track of all of these things. If you've paid taxes over a certain amount of years, you will be afforded these services. Otherwise, you have to pay for these services. These services are no longer free at the point of use. Those are the shifts we're going to have to make in Britain. We have to make it incredibly uncomfortable for you to just rock up to Britain and just walk into a hospital or walk into a social services office and claim all sorts of benefits. You just can't do that anymore. You have to have paid X amount of tax for an X amount of years before you can. It's literally like a pot of money that you've had to pay into before you can take the money out for each individual person. That's the shift that I have to admit has to happen. Now, if it was up to me, I'm a brutal fuck. I would make this country exceedingly difficult to come to if you're a Muslim, or incredibly uncomfortable to live in if you're a Muslim. Now, that's for me. This country is, as far as I'm concerned, would become exceedingly hostile to the Islamic faith. But that's because I have a particular grievance towards the ideology of Islam. But Islam is a separate thing. This country has to still, deal with Christian migrants and I don't know, every other religious, Hindu and Buddhists and whatever. So it's not just Muslims that this has to happen. The migrant thing has to happen for all migrants. But for me, I think Islam is a particularly insidious religion and ideology that has political aspirations which will try to get a majority Muslim population or a significant Muslim population to shift the democratic system in this country, in Britain especially. They want to get into politics and they want to shift the politics of this country to become Islamic. And I'm afraid I will never be able to allow such a thing, or if whatever powers I possess, I can reject it.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, I was gonna say one more thing on the me not having kids point. Kind of a dumb point though. I mean, I agree there's some validity, but it's not like I'm 30. If I was 30, I would completely agree. It's a fair point. But I mean, I'm fairly responsible. I don't go fucking random women being fucking not I have cousins that have a shit ton of kids because they weren't fucking careful. I'm not an idiot. I'm trying to be a responsible person, not bring a kid into this world in a relationship that's not a stable relationship, because that's also causes a lot of issues. So unless I'm 30, it's kind of a moot fucking point. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, it is true. I don't really blame you at your current state. You should. I'm talking. This situation. If you're talking about the American replacement or the European replacement, this is a generational thing. This is not going to happen overnight. You have to literally train, and you have to re-educate your young people, especially those between, I think, the demographics of 15 to 20. You have to instill in them a entirely new set of values, which is around family, children, and sort of the nuclear, if you like, family setup. Those pillars have been destroyed. This bullshit about don't slut shame. Yeah, that's because women want to go fuck 20 guys. They want to ride that cock carousel until they're in their 30s, and then they hit a fucking wall, and then they'll find some poor desperate simp, and they'll pop out a few kids. Maybe.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's the big problem. Finding a woman that's not a fucking roasty. All right. Listen, I understand she slept with a few guys, but you don't want a roasty. All right, that's not going to be a good mom.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's the reality. That is the reality. You gotta watch. You gotta train. You gotta literally re-indoctrinate, because it is a form of indoctrination. It has been indoctrinated. This nihilistic lifestyle of what can I get out of this life? What is it for me? Now, by the way, I'm talking about this not as someone who's gone out and has kids. I'm a foreigner in Britain, and to be honest with you, according to the demographics, if I don't have kids, it's good for the British. If I squeeze out a few either mixed race or Iranian children, I mean, in fact, I said to the ethno-nationalists when I was arguing with them, I said, you know what, you guys have inspired me. I'm gonna go marry a nice Iranian girl and have a few Iranian children. just to accelerate your demise.
I tell you what, though, I do want to go for white women, but man, some Iranian women, ooh.
I know. You seen that Lacey Green, right?
What? Oh no, not her.
Well, she's got good pair of tits on her.
She's Iranian?
Yeah, she's Iranian. She's I think she's half.
Okay,
Iranian.
well, I've seen pretty good looking Iranian women.
Oh
but,
yeah, you go and look at Shah of what was it? Shahs of something. Ah shit, there was a TV show called the Shahs of something. It's like an Iranian Orange County type. You know, it's like the Kardashians, Iranian version of the Kardashians. Shahs of Sunset, something like that. It's ridiculous. To be honest, Iranians are as embarrassing as fuck sometimes. They are like worse than the Armenians. You think the Armenians are bad? You should fucking see Iranians sometimes. They are ridiculously embarrassing.
Really?
Oh God, cringe beyond measure. The sort of cringy shit Iranians do.
You know, I'd like to ask you this, Banksy, like, because I kind of get a sense of your views, and I'm not full, like, I mean, I don't believe just like, okay, the country's 100% white, we're space age society, zero problems. Like, no, that's ridiculous. You know, and I don't even see it as that. I mean, like I said, I would have zero issues with Japanese immigrating here, zero, because of how much, like, I think honestly their culture is a little better than ours in some ways. Like, they're very respectful, they're hardworking. Now they have their issues since they're declining as a population. But,
yeah,
you know, I'm just curious, like, from my perspective, what I'm seeing how the statistics are showing that, you know, white people will be a minority. There's this increasing anti-white sentiment. I'm sure you'd agree on, like, fuck white people. White people are the fucking devil. All this shit constantly pushed. White people are supposed to feel bad, you know, just feel bad all the fucking time. And, you know, they show that foreigners, you know, that are coming to this country, they're increasingly voting Democrat, eventually will be outvoted. I mean, the main people who are keeping the Republican Party alive is white males. That's the majority.
probably.
But I mean, I'm just saying, with the current sentiment and the current numbers of the white population dwindling, I mean, am I not valid a little bit to be a little bit concerned? I mean, maybe there's some silver lining I'm not seeing,
Look,
but that's the way I'm seeing it.
The thing, this is the thing that I've been exploring, because a lot of ethno-nationalist people say that culture is downstream from your ethnicity, and I think with the Punjab situation, it's definitely shown that it is not it doesn't necessitate your ethnicity doesn't necessitate a good culture. Now you have to, I think, in the future, the white American has to come to this realization: do I care whether my ethnicity is the majority of the population, or do I care that my society is a safe, high-trust society that is progressing forward with science and technology and is making life better for the people that I live with and myself? I think those are the kind of toss-ups, the options you're going to have to come across. If you believe that your ethnicity being the majority is what has led to this high trust, successful society, then you have to fight to keep it, because your ethnicity is downstream, is upstream from that culture, from that society, from that safe world that you built. But if your ethnicity is does not necessitate a safe, high trust, successful society in which you'll be happy to live in, then your ethnicity isn't such a massive thing. You can, the Native Americans under massive oppression have not gone extinct. I'm pretty sure the white man's pretty safe in their place. I'm
not saying white people are going to go extinct. I'm just saying, what kind of world would my kids live in if they were the minority, and this sentiment, this anti-white sentiment, was really ingrained in these the people that occupied most of the country. That's what I'm concerned about. That's my main point.
Yeah. No, the thing is, along with your majority status dropping, so will a lot of the status for so-called the white man. So there'll be less white people in charge of large corporations. There may be a shift. I mean, look at the Jews. Look at the Jews. Their minority status has not held them back from having huge amount of wealth and power in the world. So their
But there's also not
status,
But if they were in an anti-Semitic, a country where majority was anti-Semitic, I mean, let's be real, it's a pretty small minority that's actually anti-Semitic against Jews. And I do not count sentiment against Israel as anti-Semitic. That is completely different. But no, I mean, like if the country is largely anti-Semitic, they would not be in those positions. No fucking way. So, I mean, that's, I don't know. Jews are definitely hardworking people. Like, I will say that. I just, my main point earlier is I wish more of them. It just seems like a lot of them don't really advocate for stuff that, in my opinion, is very good for the country, very good for the people living in it.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. If you're saying that this anti-white sentiment will continue as the whites become a minority, and then, by the way, you won't be a minority anyway. Certainly not in your lifetime. You will become even the largest minority group at best. You'll still be a massive voting bloc. You'll still be because you got to realize the minorities on the other side are not homogenous. You got the blacks, the Hispanics, the Jews, the Iranians, the Indians, the Sikhs. They're like a plethora of tiny little groups themselves. So they're not going to be in any shape or form homogenous and work as a unit, whilst the whites will still have the largest minority portion of the pie. So you will still, even in your lifetime and potentially in your kids' lifetime, still command the majority and have the majority say of the running of the United States. But as you said, in regards to this anti-white hatred, I think as those numbers shift, then the people who have the anti-white sentiment of, oh, you guys run everything, will lose that argument, because the whites will then be like, no, we don't. Look at us. We've now been elevated to a minority status. So clearly, you guys still, we're far more, we're the diverse, what do you call it? This tapestry that we form is called America. So no, we don't have we don't have the majority group. And besides, the whites themselves are not even homogenous, because you got Polish white, you got German white, you got Italians, which I don't know even if the whites consider them white.
That's not really
Spanish.
much of an issue anymore, though. Like I noticed back then more so people care, like, oh, you're an Irish, you bastard, or you're Italian. People don't care anymore. But
the whites are not homogenous in the way that you think either. I think there's definitely a mix in that.
I mean, there's definitely a bigger difference between black people and Caucasians than the difference between a German and a Spanish person.
Possibly.
I'd say definitely.
Well,
I don't.
No, because
There's, physical features and.
Oh yeah, physically, but
and even then, culturally, take someone from Africa, or even someone that's African American, they would differ very much more ideologically, I think, than a German and a French person.
No, you mentioned the Spanish, because
even Spanish,
were actually
Spanish,
ruled by Muslims for 800 years. So there is that. There's that definite mix in there. So I don't know how much. I mean, you could say Christian, but then a Christian Jamaican, a Christian Nigerian might actually be much more ideologically closer to a Catholic white American than a Spanish person would. I don't know. I mean, these are, again, you're parsing. We're gonna get into like new minutiae a bit.
No, I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm sure you don't think at this point, like, from the things I've said, I don't think, like, again, I just think there's certain groups that would be better in this country than others. I would any day take Germans, Italians, Greeks. I'd rather take Europeans than Africans any day in this country. I'd rather take them over Muslims. I'd rather take Japanese. I can't say Chinese. I don't know so much with the weird shit they do, like eating dogs, but no, it's just there's certain groups I see more they'd be a good fit for this country ideologically. I mean, here's the thing. I personally don't see much hope for this country, and like I don't have some of these people think like, oh yeah, things will change. I mean, listen, I hope it's true you're saying that like this anti-white sentiment will just die out and won't be a big deal years from now. But I mean, I don't get that feeling. But I mean, that's just a feeling.
But unfortunately, those are future predictions, which I don't know.
Oh, of course, yeah. Who knows how things will go? I mean, yeah. It's just I really hate what's going on right now with like all these riots and all this bullshit. Like, you know, I was going to bring that up earlier, but then we got off. Like, he just asked me randomly about Jews. I was just like,
I know. It's that hat,
you know,
man. It's that picture you got. That just invokes that.
It wasn't originally like anything. I just thought it was a funny image. Like, I saw it on this Encyclopedia Dramatic article. But no, like, I just see what's going on right now. And don't get me wrong, Antifa, I've seen more Antifa people assaulting people. Of course, that's anecdotal, and a lot of Antifa people are white. But I just see all these riots and all this shit. It's like, man, like, we're definitely paying for fucking bringing these people over as slaves. But it's like, man, I'm sorry, but I really see that as a mistake. Like, Lincoln should have sent them back to Africa. Sorry, but this is fucking terrible right now. Having people fucking burning down our cities and all this shit. Like, I mean, I just feel like we've given them so many opportunities to integrate. And it just seems like they want to like focus on police brutality or blame white people. 90% of black homicide victims are killed by their blacks. I think they do more damage to their own community than police ever could. And they don't seem to be interested at all in fixing that and trying to integrate and, you know, catch up with the rest of society. I mean, what do you do with that? With a group of people that don't see the real problem in their community?
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of complicated scenarios there as well. I think this is a much more led argument about the African Americans and their history and their place in the United States. Unfortunately, you know, the history of slavery is what it is, and these people, I don't see an African American any less American than an Irish American or an Italian American. I mean, they're American. America.
Yeah, I agree. I just think, like, you know, I mean, I don't see Irish causing these kind of issues or Italians. I mean, I'm not trying to demonetize. I guess we're way past that, but you know, it's just that's the way I see it. Like, what's the solution? You know, I just don't hear any real solutions. Conservatives just try desperately to bring in that black focus. Donald Trump will just go on, oh, the black unemployment rate. Meanwhile, they still vote like 90% Democrat. Like, it's a frivolous fucking.
I mean, that's fine. They should still, but that doesn't mean you don't fight for that for every vote. I think that's an attitude that I like about Trump, is that unlike Hillary Clinton, who kind of assumed that this particular group is just going to vote for us, that's why she barely campaigned for any of it. Donald Trump doesn't have that attitude. Donald Trump goes out and wins your vote. He doesn't just accept. He doesn't assume your vote. He goes out and wins your vote, and that to me is a lot head and shoulders above the Clintons and the Bidens, because he gives a shit about your vote. He actually gives the appearance of giving a shit about your vote. Whilst those guys, they didn't even bother to even give the vague, subtle appearance that they care about the peons, the lemmings. They just assume that the blacks are just going to roll in for them, which is ridiculous. And also, Biden. Oh, by the way, let me just say hi, Phil. Phil.
Hi, Banksy.
Good man. Sorry, I just want to make sure
Hey,
it's
Phil.
you, because I don't want to get porn bombed. But yeah.
No, not at all, mate.
No worries. Even Biden, with that ridiculous interview of, well, if you don't think I'm better than Donald Trump, then you're not
That's
black.
amazing. No, he said if you can't make up your mind then on who to vote for, you're not black. But
Oh my
yeah,
God.
you know, it's funny how I feel like nobody really has much respect for him, and the left included. Like, they call them low information voters. They act like they're idiots. Like, they have to prod them to vote for them. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, almost no one. I don't know. I just feel like none of these groups show
They
any
don't
respect
respect their vote.
And it's just kind of fun. Like, yeah, it's. You know,
and unfortunately, the other thing about like the migrant sort of shift is also this thing that, like you said, migrants. The reason most migrants, even the Jews up until recent times, would vote is because they figured, you know, the government gives us things. Especially new migrants, they want things, and the socialist groups, the socialist attitude is, let's give poor people things. Because they don't believe in giving them, teaching a man how to fish. They believe we should feed them the man. In fact, force feed them fish every night, and that's why the migrants will, of course, vote for the one who's going to give them things, because that's what they want. They don't have things; they want things.
It's funny. I remember a bunch of black people were praising Trump because of the stimulus package, the $1,200. They were like, "Oh man, he pulled through. Trump did." And they're like all pro-Trump. Obviously, not now. They all fucking hate him. But man, did you hear how he was put in his bunker? They put him in the bunker in the White House because, like I don't know if you saw the videos, but like protesters like pushing against the these front barricade kind of mini
wow.
gates thing. Like, yeah, they're pushing against the police. Like, it's serious. Like, that's why I think like we're on the brink of civil war. But it's just crazy, man. Like, you know, yeah, I don't know, man. And I will say one last thing on a point on the whole ethno-nationalist thing. The funny thing is, the thing that gets me, I mean, I think it's completely delusional, the idea, like Richard Spencer, they think like, we'll just separate all these different groups like into their own space. Like, the thing is, a large portion of white people are on the side of like, are extremely liberal, like a decent portion. So it's not like universally every white person is going to agree with you on this. Like, it's just, it is sadly delusional. You know, that's all I can say.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, the whole Richard Spencer guys and these ethno-nationalists, they have their own kind of crosses to bear, if you like, because their own arguments are not cohesive. But, you know, this is the problem. Everybody has some points and others don't. Phil, what's up, dude? Let's give the platform to Phil a little bit. Let's see what Phil has to say. Go for it, dude. Join in. What were your thoughts?
Hello, Banksy, mate. Just want to firstly say your comments earlier on. I totally support base Welshman.
What
Totally
in what regard?
Well, you said earlier on that that I didn't support him, but yeah, I do. I support people like base Welshman and his views. So
But
yeah,
tonight?
I just want to.
I said that tonight, or was it on stream? Are you talking about street stream?
Yeah, on street
No, I
stream,
didn't say
yeah.
you didn't support him. No, Street was saying, what was it? Something about the people who are his guys, and I said because I said, you know, the people who come on my channel, you know, they're part of the you know, they like Street. Basically, it was about, oh yeah, who likes Street? And I said, I think Fee, you know, likes, because he said, none of my guys, the people who come on this channel, like Streets. I said, yes, you do. Phil does, and Base Welshman does. That's what I actually said as far as Base Welshman is. You and Base Welshman, you guys don't have a problem with Streets. Streets are, you know, you guys are pretty cool with him. I personally like the guy. I love Streets in the sense that he is genuinely a good, honest, genuine person, and that is a rare thing, especially in this world, especially on this internet game. To find someone that is genuine, that is honest, is not easy to find. So I will never deny that against you know, against Street, and I will never rile against him as a person. Ideologically, sure, of course we differ, and you know, that's fine. That's the point of this great country. That's the point of everything we have as far as freedoms.
This is why we like you, Banksy. You know, you have this view that we like your views, regardless of your political views. We still like you and we still love you, and we're giving you every opportunity and every possible chance to understand how we are thinking and how we are, you know, how we're thinking. And I think I personally feel and personally think that you are coming across to our side. I really do.
Look, Phil, the thing I said just earlier on about benefits, about migration, of course
I agree with you.
Of course,
mate, I totally agree. You know what? When you say those things, you know, that tells me, bloody hell, this guy's know what he's talking about. He knows what needs to be done. He knows what, you know.
Yeah, Phil, those are not points of contention with us. That's the thing. I've never contested those things, and I even on a philosophical or on a political level agree with a certain level of repatriation or deportation or encouraging people to go back or leave.
Thanks. Then you're there. You're nearly there with us, my friend.
It's not that. My point isn't about the policies. My point is about who will have the whipping hand, who will be the one who will enact policies. And I don't trust those who are currently, if you like, jostling for that position, jostling for power. I don't trust the people who want to have that whipping hand. It's not the laws or the policies that I fundamentally disagree with. I my whole argument has always been, and this is even something Ralph has also acknowledged, and he's also he is actually even worried and thinking about that, is that those who start revolutions are not always at the end of the revolution. Even I think Ralph, I personally have lost trust in Ralph's motives, because I think Ralph is working on a different level. He's batting for a different team. He is just on this particular.
Wait, Ralph retort?
Can I tell you about Ralph Banksy?
Wait, hold on. Are you guys talking about Ralph retort?
No. Ralph, his name is Ralph
sorry.
Masalmani. He runs a channel called Right Reaction. He comes to Speaker's Corner. He's a mixed race individual, Indian, white, and he's part of a group called Patriotic Alternative in Britain, which is a group that's trying to.
Hopefully, my battery doesn't run out soon, because I'm outside. I'm in the lovely weather outside in the garden with the dog. Nice. But can I tell you a story about Ralph?
Go.
I was there from day one with Ralph. I seen him burst on the scene in Speaker's Corner. I was there from day one, and he was there standing up against the railing, and somebody approached him, and they basically said, I think it might have been Mr. Rax, and they said, who are you, sort of thing. And Ralph said, yeah, I'm just here, just sitting back, relaxing, just taking in the sights. And ever since then, I followed Ralph, and I'm not being biased. And ever since then, I've followed Ralph, and regardless of what you say about Ralph, he's done some good things. He says some really good things. Regardless of your politics, I've been there from day one with Ralph. I've been there, and if people, you have to understand that, because if you're not there from day one, and listen to what Ralph has said from day one up until what he's saying to this present day, then you can't understand where we're coming from. Because if people are coming on the back end of things and listening to Ralph for the last, say, 2, 3, 4 weeks, or even say 4 or 5 months, then they don't understand. And Ralph for me totally
changed. I gotta go, man. Thanks for having me on.
Take care, Treasure. Have a good night, mate. Have a good night.
Peace,
Ralph totally changed for me my philosophy and the way of thinking. He turned me from being a liberal, left wing, Tommy supporting liberal to being where I am today, and I thank him for that. I really do.
Sure.
And I was involved, like I say, from day one when Ralph burst on the scene at Speaker's Corner, and I've seen you, mate, at Speaker's Corner. I love what you've done at Speaker's Corner, and if people can't understand that and invest in the time to understand where we're coming from as a more of a right-wing political perspective, then it takes time, mate. It took me 2 years. To change, from being an absolute moron to where I am, and loving my country and loving my people, and hopefully, Banksy, at some stage you will see the light.
Well, you see, again, Phil, you and I don't. You listened. We've all listened to the things that everyone else has said. Now, when it comes to Ralph, I was there before Ralph even came to Speaker's Corner. I was there before Ralph arrived, and so yeah, I saw Ralph's progression, if you like, from the very first sort of speeches he gave in front of COE's cameras all the way up, and even Jordan M was contesting why COE would have him even on his channel.
Come on, mate, Jordan M, for Christ's sake, who the heck is he?
Well, it's just another speaker at Speaker's Corner. I mean, who are any of us? We're just all speakers at Speaker's Corner.
It's somebody I wouldn't waste my time with. Absolutely wouldn't waste my time with.
it's just, as I said, I look at the whole the whole gamut of Speaker's Corner. We look at different people and we say, okay, this guy had this comment to say, that guy had that comment to say, whatever. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just what I'm saying is I saw Ralph come up, if you like, through the ranks of Speaker's Corner to become a fairly prominent speaker. And then he went on his whole trolling, doing Zichals in the park, which I think is going to come back and haunt him and possibly even
What's wrong with that, though? What's wrong with that, Banksy?
No. It's just it's an image thing. It's a PR thing. It's just a public relations thing, dude.
Yeah, but what's wrong with it?
To Zichal
what is wrong with it?
And have Nazi, because of the Nazi affiliation. If you don't see the gravitas of that,
what's wrong with it?
Yeah,
what's wrong with it? We know the history of the Nazis, and to be fair, Adolf, bless him, he wasn't a bad guy.
Oh my God, Phil!
He wasn't a bad guy, mate.
Phil, there are a few bad guys on the planet that have come and gone throughout our history. Genghis Khan, Attila the Hun, Caligula, Hitler very much fits in that lineup of bad guys. But so does Mussolini, so does Stalin, and so does Mao. So it's not just
I'm mixed, mate. I'm mixed race like you. Okay? I'm mixed race like you, and
well, actually, I'm not mixed race. I'm just
okay. Well, I'm mixed race, mate. Okay, I'm mixed raced, but at the same time, I love this country, and I want to preserve, the indigenous white people of this country, and I'm mixed race, and I'm like Ralph. I would be more than happy to be repatriated. I would be more than happy to be the first to be repatriated, until we sort this country out and make this country great again. And what it should be back in the 1950s or whatever, I would be more than happy.
Well, this is the problem, Phil. We're never going to go back to the 1950s.
I can relate to you, Banksy. I can relate to you, Banksy, because you are foreign. I am foreign in a way. Yeah, I am not 100%.
I wouldn't actually say you are, but if others want to put that label on you, I don't see mixed race people as foreign. I think they have all the legitimacy.
They're not English, mate. They're not English.
But you have the blood. Is your mother Anglo-Saxon or your father, whichever side?
My father.
So you have the bloodline. You have blood. You have a blood claim. Sorry. Whoa! What just happened? Oh shit! I think I just screwed up my. The fuck did I just do? Alex. Oh, Phil, can you hear me?
Oh, hang on.
Nope.
Banksy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I freaking touched the mouse. It flipped my browser to go back. The back button, and then I lost the freaking StreamYard. Sorry, Phil. Yeah, no, I was saying through your bloodline. I think you have a bloodline claim as a native. I don't think anyone can deny you that. I don't think they should deny you that. But that's
I am not Banksy. I'm not English, mate.
You're not English, but you're British, and you're half.
Yeah,
English.
okay. Yes, but I am not English, mate. And this is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think a debatable aspect is that would you consider Lucy Brown British English?
Is she mixed race? Is she Polish or something?
Her grandfather is Polish.
Yeah, then she's not English.
So she would have to go through the same process as you would or Ralph would in order to claim their stake in this country.
Yeah, she's not English, mate. Same as me, same as you.
Fair enough. I mean, if that's, but I don't see that. I think Lucy Brown should not have to file for to stay in this country. I don't think you should file to stay in this country. I don't think Ralph should file to stay in this country.
Mate, but she ain't English.
Sorry?
She's got good tits, but she ain't English.
Yeah, but what I mean is, under any circumstances, I don't see, because how many generations will it take for Lucy Brown's children to finally say that this is where this is their homeland? How many would it be for you? I mean, for me, fine. I mean, if I marry an English woman and then think, you see, I stay out of this because I know my position. I know where I am. I know where I love this country, but I know my past. I'm not denying where I'm from. And if tomorrow Iran became a democratic utopia, I would maybe even consider going back. But I can't even entertain such a thing because Iran is just such a god awful place to live right now. So I wouldn't
Well, it
entertain
was a lovely place in 1970s, wasn't it?
Exactly. So what I mean is that I know my past. I know who I am. I have no ambiguity over that. But my brother, his dad's English. And if you look at him, not in a million years you would be able to tell he's not English. But he would now have to consider repatriation, even though his father is more English than the Queen?
No, we're not saying that everybody has to be kicked out and have to be repatriated.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is,
Okay,
Phil,
let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. When I was early 20s, I'm half Sicilian, okay? And I thought at that time I was a mafia fucking gangster dude, yeah, like the the jihadis of this modern age. I thought I was a mafia dude, but over time my perspective totally changed. It totally changed from being half Italian and brought up in an Italian environment to all of a sudden thinking, hang on, what's all that about? I'm an English person. I've got English values, and my attitude totally changed from being from being a foreigner, if you like, to being an English person. But I am still not an English person. But I value the English people, and I want the English people to persevere, and I want them to be a super majority in their own country.
Well, that's the difference between us. Is I don't see the super majority thing to be such a linchpin in the survival of the British society, British community, the Britain as a whole, because we've seen its ever shifting patterns throughout the British history. We've seen it with the Celts and all of that, and we've also seen it in other nations. And tonight we actually had a discussion over the Punjab, which seems.
Mate, let me ask you a question, Banksy. If World War, if would you rather be speaking German, right, or would you rather be speaking Punjab, Hindu, or other languages in this country? What would you rather be speaking?
Well, think about it this way. If the fate of the world changed in any way during that World War II, then neither of us would have any of these conversations. Our world would be so vastly different. I may still be in Iran. You may not even exist because your father and mother may not have ever met.
Do you think our country would be in a better state?
Well, the world would be so vastly different that it is impossible to predict. If the Nazis had won, the world would be in a worse state, because it would clearly be in an incredibly fascistic, bigoted world in which everyone.
Do you think so, mate? Do you think so?
I think so. Of course, I do. Where do you think the Jews would be at this point? Would there even be Jews
in Madagascar? If the Germans had their way, if the Germans had their way, they'd be in Madagascar, and everything would be nice and tranquil and quiet in the world, and there would be no.
Well, I mean, that's we're now dealing with fantasy, so unfortunately, the only thing
it's not fantasy, mate. It's fact.
No,
it's not fantasy.
It's fantasy, because we wouldn't. I mean, we're making guesses on. I mean, have you ever seen a TV show called The Man in the High Castle?
I haven't, mate. No, I
it's
haven't.
It's on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, you can get it. If not, it's on the internet somewhere. It's meant to be very interesting because it's a world in which Germany wins the war, and so does Japan. So Japan rules or conquered America. So Japan controls all of North America, and Germany controls all of Europe. And I haven't seen the show myself, but I would be interested to see how the writers of the show actually formulated, and those different ethnic groups like the Jews, Indians, black people, how have they kind of are working or living alongside a German superpower and a Japanese superpower. I don't know. These are guesses. These are fantasies now, because reality is this is the world that we have at our hands. This is the world in which we're faced with. And my problem, again, my problem isn't with necessarily some of the policies. My problem is with the people who may wish to implement those policies, and people who are incredibly sympathetic to Germany and Hitler are certainly, for me, not qualified to be the kind of people who
Have you investigated the AH history? What have you done to investigate that?
What, the World War II and Hitler and
Yeah.
Nazis?
Yeah.
I've done enough investigation to know that this individual was far too unstable. I mean, I'm not saying, you see, this is the difference. There's a saying in the film Speed. He says, he's not stupid, he's crazy. Never mistake Hitler's actions for a stupid man. He was extremely smart. He was very, very crazy. And I'm sorry, what he did, the world responds to your actions, and the world responded to Hitler's actions, and Hitler lost because he could not, whether it was he was, because you can't even say that the Germans didn't have not lower level weaponry, like they were not.
We lost. Okay, we won the war, Banksy. Yeah, we won the war, but after that, and the way the world changed, and what we see today with the degeneracy of the LBGT community and all, and the racism and all these kinds of things, that changed from World War II. We didn't, as far as I'm concerned, Banksy, we did not win the World War. We lost it. We lost it, mate.
Dude, if you think we lost the world, if you think the life is, why do you think that we lost it? In what sense? As in, because the life that you live is worse or better, or in what sense do you think
it's
we lost
terrible,
it?
mate? Look at what's going on around. Look what's going on around you now. The degeneracy of the world, the riots in the States, all the influx which was brought into this world ever since we won the World War. Yeah, look how it's all changed.
Okay. Let's say we've now spent the last 70 years now since the World War II sort of ended.
Yeah.
Life, you think, has gone worse for the Western European person?
Yes.
Since the World War II era, right? You actually think we've gone
100%.
down? So
100%.
So everything you see around you tells you that your life has gone worse.
100%.
Are you less fed than you were, that the people were in the 1950s? Do you have less housing? Is there less, like, people? Are they? I mean, because you got to look at it. Look at the Maslow's hierarchy.
Banksy, haven't you seen how your community has changed over the last 30 years?
No, it doesn't matter how the community will always change. There will always be a shift in the zeitgeist. The society will change, but you have to start looking at it on those.
Yeah, but why did we need it to change? We did not need it to change.
The fact is, that we have far better healthcare, far better standard of living. Your
far better healthcare, far better healthcare for the third world people who are coming into this
No, it
country
doesn't matter.
and taking advantage of our NHS.
That's
Yeah.
not the point. The point isn't about the far better healthcare for who. It's just far better healthcare than the people in the 1950s. Far better quality of food and water than the people in the 1950s. Far better standard of living than the people in the 1950s. You guys take, how many days has your children
Banksy,
and yourself?
can you lock your doors open at night, my friend? Can
No,
you
these
lock
are
your doors
fantasies.
open at
These are
night?
fantasies. People
Well,
always
what's
say, I used to
fantasy?
leave my
Banksy, can
door
you lock your
unlocked in
doors
the
open, my friend?
1950s.
My friend, can you lock your doors open at night now?
You couldn't necessarily leave your doors unlocked in certain places in the
Yes, you
1940s
could.
and 50s
Banksy,
either.
30 years ago, my friend,
Dude.
I could. My house was unlocked.
No, I
Not a
can
problem.
show you.
Now we have to lock everything down.
Phil, I can show you a village which I went to actually with my friends live out in like Denver, what's it called, Devon or some Cornwall and place like that. Yeah, they can leave their front door open because it's a tiny little village, no 1 miles. So there are places you can do that.
We can't do it nowadays,
Yeah,
mate.
because
It's
you have a hell of a
impossible.
lot more people. How many people lived in Britain in the 1950s versus how many people live in Britain now? We're like in the upper 60 million, and it was like fraction of that back then. Of course, there was. In the 50s there were 3 billion human beings on the planet. Now it's 7.5 billion human beings.
Yeah, and we brought in the wrong kind of people.
But-
Yeah, regardless if it's 60 billion or 150 trillion people, we have brought in the wrong kind of people.
Sure. You can say that immigration is an issue, and that should be curtailed. Nobody disputes that. I think even some of the friggin' Labour supporters these days are now saying we shouldn't actually just leave immigration to be unfettered. Everybody agrees, yes, we should have some degree of immigration control, but the point of these, life being better in the 50s, you really have to go and look at life in the 50s and 40s and see how people lived. It was not better than this. It was so much
but
worse.
in the modern world, Banksy, if we were to go back to a kind of 1950s period, with the modern world and with the modern things that we have nowadays, what a wonderful country this would be. But unfortunately, we've brought in the wrong kind of people, the mass immigration, and it's
Sure.
totally changed the demographics, Banksy.
Sure.
And I'm not going to mention demographics because the ethno-nationalist argument is demographics, yeah. And I don't want to bring I don't want to talk about too much demographics because we know what the demographics are. But in saying that, if we have to understand that we have brought this in. We have brought this in, Banksy, and we've brought this in upon us, and we are now suffering from this, and we have to do something about it.
Well,
and
that's the trick. Now we're at that stage of what we do, and then who does it. For me, the thing about Ralph that you
it doesn't matter who does it. It
Oh, it
needs to
does.
be done, Banksy.
No,
It needs to be done, mate.
No, it does matter who does it. That's actually I feel that is critical to everything around it, because who does it will then dictate our future and how we go forward. Now, you may have a rosy tinted glasses of Nazi Germany. I don't. I don't see it as it would have been a wonderful world, and all that. And then you got America First talking about how America was amazing in the 1950s. I'm sure if you were a black man living in Mississippi in the 1950s, life wasn't as amazing as you think. America First. But then if you were a white man, sure, I'm sure white people were living the high life, and America wasn't ravaged by the effects of World War II the way Europe was. So Very different environments, very different groups of people. Also, go and have a couple of words. Sit down and have a conversation about a man in his 70s, about life in the 1950s. A black man. Go and sit down with a black man in his 70s about life in Mississippi in the 1950s. I'm sure you'll find a very different perspective.
And yeah, but it's all changed. We've give them enough. We've helped them.
Civil rights.
We've supported them. We've supported them. We've given them as much as we can, but it hasn't worked. Banksy, diversity has not worked. We've given them as much as we can. We've supported them as much as we can, but it has not worked, Banksy, my friend.
You're right in the sense that the left, it's the way the left implemented diversity, or at least wants to shove the diversity down our throats, that doesn't work. I've made this case before. Salman Rushdie actually made this case on a video which it's on YouTube. He said the problem with Britain is we don't have multiculturalism. We have cultural relativism. That's the problem we have. This is why some noncy little girl like Zabida doesn't condemn child marriage, because she thinks her culture is just as good as British culture. And that is the problem we have, is that we have people who think their culture is equal to British culture.
Banksy, we know Banksy, we know the Islamic question. We know the flaws about the Islamic invasion.
No. I'm not just talking about Islam. I'm talking about cultural relativism in Britain, where we don't.
Banksy, I'm finished what I was going to say. Let me land. We know about the Islamic invasion. We know about the Islamic culture, and it is a big, big issue. But at the same time, we have other issues that we need to resolve, as well as the Islamic invasion. So, fuck Zubida, and fuck the Islamic fucking,
caliphate
thing. Yeah, caliphate. We have just as much bigger pressing things as well as Islam. Islam's a big thing, don't get me wrong, but we have just as big issues as well as the Islam question. Sure. We have other questions, and that's where the ethno-nationalists are trying to get across to the middle of the road civic nationalists to try and change them or move them to a more of a as Ralph would say, the cathedral, to move them slightly more right to our way of thinking. And until that happens, this country is fucked. It's fucked, mate.
That's the problem. You see, these are the holes that I see in these sort of events. Is number one, I don't trust that Ralph is actually batting for the ethno-nationalists. I think Ralph and that video that Lister made exposed Ralph for actually working on behalf of a different group.
Fuck Lister, mate.
I know, but it wasn't. No, it's not the Lister. It's not Lister. It's the video. It's the people in the associations and this reactionary, right-wing reactionary groups that Ralph affiliates himself with. I think that he is not necessarily working.
You don't think Ralph is on your side, Banksy?
I don't think he's on the side of PA. I don't think he is. I think he's using PA just like he used the Tommy Robinson movement to shift Tommy Robinson supporters to groups like PA, and now he's going to use the PA in order to shift again to his neo-reactionary groups. So he is not looking out. He's not doing this for the benefit of PA. He has his own personal agendas, which he is using.
Isn't Ralph doing it for the love of his country?
No.
You don't think so?
Not necessarily love of his country. He thinks that what his group and he himself believes will lead to benefits for Britain, but he's not doing it for the love of PA. Whatever he's doing it for is not for PA's benefit and PA's success. So he is simply riding the PA horse like he did the Tommy Robinson, and then once he's done with that, once he's had his benefits from it, he will shift. And he will then take people with him to the next thing.
So you don't think, Banksy, Ralph loves his country. Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh no, I mean that's I'm not going to gauge. That's a impossible thing to gauge. What I say is that there are people who have their own agendas, and they are going to, use whatever means necessary to achieve those agendas. Now, those goals could be in line with the benefits of the United Kingdom, or it could be some ideological thing, just like the communists. Communists think that their communism will benefit everyone and it will make Britain wonderful, even though they're incredibly wrong about their ideas. But they believe it. They genuinely believe it. You think communists? You think Jeremy Corbyn doesn't love this country? I don't deny Jeremy Corbyn's love for this country. He is wrong about how he wants to make this country good, but I don't ever take away from Jeremy Corbyn that he doesn't love this country. I think he absolutely loves this country, and he absolutely thinks that what he wants to do is the benefit, is the good thing, is the right thing for this country, or at least he did. I don't even deny Keir Starmer or even Diane Abbott's love for this country. They've served this country. I think they love this country too. I will never judge them on that. I will judge them on their policies and on the things that they actually want to do, and those things are terrible. So it doesn't matter their love for the country or not. What are they doing, and is that thing that they're trying to do actually going to benefit the country, or is it going to take the country in the wrong way? People love their country and do the wrong thing all the time.
They don't have no solutions. They don't have no solutions.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think
PA, no disrespect to PA, they have solutions.
They have some.
And I'm not 100% supporter of PA, but they have the right solutions in the way our country should be going forward. That's what I like about PA. I'm not 100% on board with them, but they have the right solutions, Banksy.
They have some. I agree with you. Like the things I professed tonight, I don't think any PA member would disagree with the things I said about foreign policy, about having a national identity or national insurance cards, which every time you go to a hospital, they'll have to check to make sure you've paid enough taxes to use the National Health Service. I don't think PA would even disagree with something like that. I'm be very shocked if they did. Or they'll repatriate everyone, and they won't have to worry about anyone that hasn't paid tax. I don't know what their version is, but I'd be shocked if they would want people who haven't paid into the system to use the National Health Service. So there will probably be a lot of things that I've said that I agree, and there are a lot of things that PA says that I agree with. Some, not all, but the main thing that I disagree with is the people behind those policies who want to enact those policies, because I don't trust those people, and I don't trust them to stay to just do what they're saying.
Banksy, you have to trust somebody, because if you don't trust somebody, and put your faith in somebody, then things will not change.
Yeah, but Phil, that's exactly the game we're in. We're in the game of winning friends and influencing people, and so I will make my case to not vote for PA, and PA will make their case to vote for me, and I will tell them, don't vote for these people, vote for these guys.
Well, do you remember you came on the other day? You came on to Simon's Reverend's chat, and I said said hello to you.
Yeah. In
have you?
Telegram.
Yeah. Did you look at some of the things that people were saying, or did you?
I did, but I don't use Telegram much. It was just on one computer. I was just testing it out and just sort of roaming around a little bit. And I haven't seen everything yet. I should sit down and go through it. I mean, again, Simon Sideways is kind of a centrist-ish bloke. He's not completely sold by the whole PA group yet. He's kind of waiting and seeing what happens. And the people on there, a variety of different attitudes, but then that's how it is on his Discord server as well. I don't know if you visit his Discord server. I mean, all sorts of Telegram page. I don't go on the Discord because I can't be arsed with that, because I just like to see what's going on. Yeah.
But now you've entered theoretically a right wing Telegram page, and obviously a lot of the right wing people are in Telegram because we are we are suppressed. We are suppressed by a lot of people, and Telegram is our kind of safe space. So have you had a chance to look into the Telegram side and seen
Well,
the right wing perspective, if you like?
the thing is, the stuff that I've seen on Simon's Telegraph is pretty much the same stuff on his Discord server. So it seems similar, sort of the same people are pretty much posting in the same sort of places. So I've seen a lot of that stuff. Tommy's stuff, I mean, I'm following Tommy Robinson on there now just to see what Tommy's, at least it says Tommy Robinson supporters chat or something.
Okay, let's talk about Tommy Robinson
Similar
then.
sort of thing there as well. Nothing major.
What is your perspective from the right wing perspective on Tommy Robinson? How do we think and how do we feel about Tommy Robinson?
For me, see, I never really regarded Tommy Robinson as any kind of messiah figure, which some people sort of looked him up as. I see him as just a guy who's originally, a person who was genuinely worried about his community, his place in Luton. He started, speaking out. He managed to get a good following, got the whole EDL thing going, and he shifted, unfortunately, over the years because, admittedly, I think Tommy and the EDL were, even though people want to deny it, I think they're wrong. I think they played a key role in exposing the grooming gang thing. They were not. They may not have been the first. They may not have been the last or whatever. But they certainly played their crucial part in exposing that and bringing that to a full. I don't think without the EDL, we would be here right now with the grooming gang situation. We would have these prosecutions. I think it would have taken maybe another decade before any of this would have come to surface, and all those poor girls would have had no justice. So I think that the EDL were as critical in those grooming gang cases being brought forward as everyone else that was involved. People.
So
but again, Tommy Robinson is not a messiah to me. He's right on some things. I agree with him. His evolution has made him a bit of a grifter. He is now grifting for cash all the time, and because he has no other means of income, so he became too influenced by that Canadian rebel media group,
Ezra
Levant. I think because Ezra Levant has very, very sketchy past and sketchy business practices. He was exposed by Caleb. He was exposed by, I think, even Lawrence Southern. Lawrence Southern pulled away.
So can you understand then, regards to Tommy Robinson, that he's done a good thing. Don't get me wrong. He's done some good things, but can you understand now from the right perspective about Tommy Robinson and how the right, if you like, if you want to call us right or Nazis,
Well, I would say certainly far right is probably the only time that monicum, that statement actually makes any sense, is probably from Colette's perspective. Colette can't be considered anywhere near centre. He is the far right.
What's wrong with Colette? What's wrong with Colette, Banksy?
Well, no, Colette's, and I mean, he's got, in his book, I've been actually going through it. The amount of times he reveres the National Socialist Party is unbelievable. As far as I'm concerned, anyone who reveres the National Socialist Party of Germany as much as Colette does, he falls into the category of, it is the rightful category of the far right. If there's anyone that fits that category, I think Colette absolutely does. Anyone who expresses so much reverence for the National Socialist Party of Germany definitely fits into the far right. I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm not saying that as a terrible thing. I'm just saying he very much seems to be in line with the National Socialist mindset. And people can take that however way they want. You know, people can take it as a bad thing or a good thing or whatever they want, however way they wish to interpret that. That's on them. It's not on me. I don't see it as a good thing. I think it's a terrible PR move if he wishes to win hearts and minds of the British people in this country, because the British people have an almost an instinctual hatred for that group. And so I think that if Mark Collett doesn't distance himself from that book and those statements and the National Socialist Party of Germany.
Which book? Which book?
His book, his own book, The Fall of the Western Man.
What's wrong with that book?
That book is littered with reverence for the National Socialist Party. That book is like that book will kill him on any interview. Because the statements in that book are devastating to any political party in Britain. He's never going to make it with that book.
Is that what you think?
I think the British people are gonna look at that book, and the BBC and the mainstream media will tear him limb from limb from that book. They'll stick that book in front of him, and they'll just run through it. I mean, dude, get the PDF.
Have you ever thought, Banksy? What if you had the platform and the opportunity to talk to Mark about his book? What would you say to him?
What do you mean? What would I? Oh, as in if I were to interview him. Well,
yeah, if you have the opportunity, to get on Mark's stream at some stage, and I'm sure he would more than happy to.
I'm a small time player. I don't think he would find any benefit in talking to me. I would mind. I don't
think so, mate. I don't think so, mate. Because Mark, regardless of how big or small you are, he cares. Regardless of how big or small you are, he cares about the small people just as much as he cares about the big people. So, no, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
I mean, I'll have to get the book back in front of me, but I mean, the simplest question is, why do you idolize the National Socialist Party or the German National Socialist Party so much? I mean, I saw passages in regards to how he felt that the National Socialist Party were looking out for the German people, and that they saw, Hitler kind of saw what may come ahead of time with the Jews. By the way, he has a big thing about Jews as well, which will also be pointed out in the book. But why would you?
Yeah, but have you investigated the Jew question, Banksy?
I've looked into all of these. I'll be honest, a lot of it is conspiracy. A lot of it is conspiracy.
No, it's not. It's not conspiracy, mate. Everything is conspiracy.
No, the thing is, there is always going to be the reason I say it's conspiracy is if you're just pointing out just Jews as those behind this and that. It's
not just Jews, mate. It's like I've said to you before, it's not just about Jews. There's a bigger picture. It's not about the Islamization, the JQ question. There's all sorts of issues and problems.
The problem is when you say when the word just when you're talking about these things, and the only thing you say is Jews, and you're not actually talking about the multinational corporations. You're not talking about the corporatocracy of the United States. When you're not talking about those things, and you're just saying Jews, then it becomes a conspiracy. I don't say Jews. Certain Jewish people are certain. A small out of this tiny minority population of these people called Jews that live in Israel and elsewhere. This is a tiny fraction of the human population, by the way. That tiny fraction of that human population, there is a tiny fraction of them that have tremendous amount of power and influence in the world of finance and Hollywood and so on. So we're not talking about, we are literally talking about 1% of a tiny fraction of human beings on the planet that have actual power. A vast majority of Jews do not have any power and influence over anything. They're just regular people living their lives, getting on with their day-to-day stuff. They don't actually have the kind of influence that people think. But those that do are not just Jews. They are working alongside Gentiles and Muslims and all the other people to accrued more money and power. Mostly power. I mean, there's only up to a certain stage where money matters, and then once you reach that level, it's really power is what matters from that point onwards. Now, these people are trying to accrued more and more power. That's what these people are trying to do, and it's not just Jews, and it's not just Muslims or Hindus. It's anyone who has money. Anyone who has money is trying to accrue more money and more power and solidify and also not only solidify, establish a legacy so that their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren will also have all that money and power.
Well, my battery's going to run out soon, mate, because I'm out in the garden. I think if you want to continue this conversation, get Mr. Elron on the stream.
Yes, the problem is it's coming up to 1:45 or 20 to 2. It's 2 a.m. I got to get some sleep. I got to get up tomorrow. That's what I mean. That's the problem. I started the stream way too late. I should have started it earlier.
Banksy, I want to take this opportunity to say, mate, we love you. And,
I love you too, Phil. I do.
And we understand exactly where you come from. And hopefully you start to realise our way of thinking from a right perspective of things. I'm not going to call it right. I'm just going to say we are just right. And I love the people in the chat, and I love you guys. And I haven't come on here. I've come on here to try and. I've come on here to try and explain myself. I don't do these sort of things. I don't want to try and expose myself. I've come on here to try and express my views and because I love my country. I love my country, Banksy, and hopefully at some stage, my friend, you will turn to our way of thinking. But until then, I will pray. And I will hope. I will pray.
Thank you, Phil.
And I will pray, and I will hope. And thank you very much for listening to me.
You,
and I've got to go because my battery's going.
No worries, Phil. It's been great chatting, Phil. As always, you're more than welcome to come on here. Anytime I run a show, there's a place for you. If you feel like chatting, come on. Let's have it. Let's have a chat.
Thank you, Banksy, and good night and God bless, and love to everybody in the chat.
You too.
Good night, God bless. I'll be listening still. I'm just going to go back in the house and charge my batteries and continue listening.
No worries.
Until the stream's over. Banksy, God bless you, mate.
Bless you.
Love you.
Bless you. Even though I'm an atheist, Dawkins may Darwin bless you. May Darwin and Dawkins bless upon you.
Anyway, Banksy, get Elron in, mate. Get Elron in for the last few minutes.
The thing is, though,
get Elron in.
I'm scared, dude. If I get Elron in, I'll be here till 5 a.m. Elron he goes for it. He's a strong talker.
Mate, have you got to get up for work in the morning?
Yes, I got to get up like 7, 8 o'clock at least. It's really late. And the conversation, shall I say, the speaker is strong in Elron. Dude, I'm scared of having him. I don't know. I mean, I'm not scared. Yeah, Treasure, mate. I'm also.
I'm sorry. I know. I came back late. I was gonna hop on.
Anyway, good night. Good night. Good
bless. Have a good night. Have a good night. Have a good night.
Thanks, Banksy. Love you. Love you loads, mate.
Love you. Have a good night.
All right, I'll let you wrap up, Banksy. I just heard the Jewish question. I was just like, oh shit, I better have my ears perked up. I was like, I gotta come and defend.
The conversation did shift. Yeah, to the JQ and all sorts. Look, I'm gonna.
I'll let you go, man.
I'm gonna give Elron a hello, but Elron, you literally have.
All right, see you, Banksy.
Minutes.
I'll let you
Take care, Treasure.
guys.
Have a good one.
I hear Jews as well, and how can I not join?
Dude, I'm literally giving you 5 minutes, and then I gotta end this because if I let you go, I'll be here till 7 a.m. and I'm gonna get screwed tomorrow. I can't get up, do anything. I'm gonna fall behind.
No problem. I had already the joy of 3 hours streaming with Pavlov, so I'm very tired as well. Yeah. So.
Oh, so you were on Pavlov's show tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, in
It
that
was
case, then
very good.
You got it
Good
out of you.
shows,
You
man.
you took it out of
Yeah.
your system.
Yeah, we mostly talked about the America situation right now, and then it shifted to some other topics, and yeah.
I see.
But
I see.
yeah,
Nice.
um,
Well, in that case, my
so-
friend, before we get too far down that road, I just want to say hello. I do. That's all it was. I just want you to come on, say hi, and then I can end this, because if we go anywhere
All right.
like more than a minute down this road, we're gonna end up talking for probably another 7 hours. But thank you guys. I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna end this stream. It's just I
Banksy,
started late.
just one more thing.
Go for it.
When we're talking about the JQ, I would challenge you for the next stream you are making. I will send you a link. We watched that video to really understand where ethno-nationalists have a problem with the Jews. Okay? And then after that
Sure.
video, maybe we can discuss it.
Sure.
Because I'm always interested in what videos, what books have you read? What do you know about the JQ and what problems we have with this specific tribe? And
Well,
so
I mean,
we are on the
also-
same level. This video is very good to have some basics.
Sure. You can
Right?
tweet me,
And
or you
then-
can leave it as a comment underneath this video.
Yeah.
Some sort of scenario like that, or actually my email is also on this channel. You can just find it in the about section. So yeah, just send it to me in whatever means you find. Also, are you on Discord?
I'm on Discord. I don't use it very regular.
If you want to message me, you can message me there as well.
Yeah, then let's do it on Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean, I'm just saying, however way you want to send me the link, just send me the link, and I'll look into it, and then yeah, we can have a stream. We can talk about it, go over it,
right.
discuss it. I mean, I'm not entirely sure how YouTube is with the JQ question. They don't take down streams whilst you're talking about the JQ, do they?
Yeah.
They seem to be
Yeah,
pretty-
that video I will link to you is still on YouTube. It has
Oh,
been
okay.
on YouTube since half a year or so. It is from No More News, so
Okay. So yeah, I mean, as long as it's, I think generally YouTube is okay with talking about the JQ. I don't know. I mean, I say I'm gonna be YouTube. If you're listening, I'll be talking about it from a defense of the JQ. I will be defending the J's on the JQ, whilst you guys, you guys will probably. Oh, I mean, we'll just discuss the video, whatever subjects it brings up. I don't even know what the video is, so I'll be happy to see that. What else was I thinking? So let's talk about that. Once I've seen the video, I'll ping you. Yeah, just get in touch with me however way you know.
It has mostly to do with Jewish prophecy and how it affects anti-Whiteism. Yeah,
all right.
That's mainly what
it
it's
discuss
about.
anything to do with the project for New American History?
Not really. This is not the focus of this video.
Okay.
But this is another topic that Adam Green is talking about a lot. Yes, but not in that specific video. This is not the main focus. It is about the fight between Esau and Jacob, and how very powerful Jews still believe in that. We are basically Esau, which means also Edom, right? And Edom is a synonym for Rome. And there's a lot of quotes from Jews in there. There's a lot of quotes from the Old Testaments about it, and also video footage of Jews telling us what they are preaching in the synagogues and everything like this. Yeah, so it's a very good way to get somewhat on what we are talking about when we are talking about the JQ.
Cool. Okay, in that case, then we'll prepare this for the next stream, and I'll buzz you guys like ahead of time, saying, guys, I'm gonna do this, so we'll all be available. I said tonight's stream was just half-assed. I just sort of decided to turn on the computer and just do it, so that wasn't very well planned. That's why most people, when I do streams like this, I don't get much views because nobody knows or very few people recognize that I've done it. So it's much better when I prepare it ahead of time, give everyone notice, put it on Twitter, you know what I mean, spread it around. Then I get a lot more people coming along. Anyway, thank you, sir. I will bid you a farewell, and drop me that link for the video. I'll go through it, and then we'll just discuss it in a stream. Have a good night,
I'm
my
searching
friend.
for it right now.
Awesome. Awesome. Have yourself a wonderful evening. I am out. OUT. Okay. Thank you, everyone on the show. Phil, Erendor, Treasure, Ned, and Raj. Who else came on tonight? Shit. I don't know. I forgot. I think that was it. I think I covered everyone. Ned, Erendor, Raj, Treasure Master, and Phil. I think I'm done. Okay, guys. Love you. What are we gonna do? We're gonna play ourselves out this evening. Now, I just want to say to the little nonce apologist Zobida, little noncy, no police has visited me, and my video is gonna be up in 48 hours as it is right now. And if it does go down for any reason, guys, you'll find it in my BitChute account. There's a thing I wanted to point out. The BitChute account. Where is my BitChute account? Where the hell's my BitChute? There it is. My channel. Okay. For those of you who wish to see me on BitChute, or wish to just know where I have a BitChute channel. Damn it! Sorry, guys. Hold on. Well, my BitChute link is in the description, in the underpants section of this video. But for those of you who wish to see it, let me. Oh, for God's sake! I have to do so much just to get you fuckers just to see this thing. I mean, it's unbelievable. Absolutely freaking believable. Where is it? Where are you? Where are you, you silly moo? Damn it. Sorry, guys. I have to switch over to this. There we go. Here it is. This is my BitChute account. Yes, there it is. And there's a whole host of stuff on there. Modine videos. Modine, who is a little piece of dog turd. All exposing of Modine is on here. Also, Yasmina B makeover video. Jordan M taking the piss out of Jordan M. They're all on BitChute. There's a few things. There isn't many on here, I have to admit. But there are things on here that would be worth your checking out. I'm going to do some videos exclusive for BitChute, I think, just to make sure people who go there at least get something that they don't get from the other channels. But for now, my darlings, that's where you are going to find the BitChute. This evening, my good people, the music that has been so wonderful, the intro and the outro, have been supplied to us by Laura6110100, who has 135,000 subscribers, so I don't think she really needs my help. And also Sophia Lloyd. These are just my, I'm just giving credit to people who supplied the music of this evening. And that is who we shall be playing out to, is Laura6100. She seems to have done an amazing, where is it? Come on. A track which I'm going to play us out with. In the meanwhile, don't forget to go to the Banksy Style Live. Actually, let me do a quick little wrap up of our of the great God of hand, the great hand of God, shall we say. This was a tribute to Vasily Kamotsky. Mr. Vasily Kamotsky, the greatest slapper of our time. He has been dethroned. He has had a partial knockout, and so the king has fallen, shall we say. But long live the king. Oh yeah, Vasily Kamotsky. I will play, actually no, wait a minute. I will play our outro music to Kamotsky kicking ass. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment, and share. Sharing is caring. Your friendly neighborhood Banksy style. Share away, kids. And I'm going to carry on. Whoa. Wait a minute. Where you going? Come back here. Sorry, guys. I ruined it. Ruined the moment.